jab, uppercut, leave you laid out on the floor. Try to duck and roll, hit and miss, now you counting stars. Should've practiced more, should've hit the mask, get out there more. Claim that you're the best. You gotta show me, son. Actions over words, baby boy. Is you real or what? Talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back
the post-fight interviews after the fight, and you were sitting up there and you seen a room full of writers and supporters of boxing. They wrote all of these things. They wrote you off. They said you was too small. How did that feel to look those guys in the face after the performance you put on? And you look, because you called out one of the guys' name. I can't remember his name. He's like, "Why are you looking so sad, man? You wrote me off. You said I was too small. You guys were saying I didn't deserve this division. The WBO wasn't being respected." How did it feel to see all those writers and historians that was writing all this bullshit about you and look them in the face?
It was, it felt good to be up there at the top of Mount Rushmore by yourself. You know, but at the same time, to see these people that control boxing,
yes,
that's so mad, you can hear a penny hit the ground.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It was disrespectful.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because I'm like, dang, why everybody looking mad? Everybody
like they had
sitting
a
around
funeral.
there, everybody sitting around there looking sad and stuff. And then I'm just like, man, these is the people that control boxing. It should always be neutral.
Mm-hmm.
When you a boxing writer, you're supposed to be doing this for the sport of boxing, you know, not leaning towards Terence, not leaning towards Spence.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need you leaning towards me. Just call it how it is, you know. But when I got up on the stage, everybody was,
that was
what y'all sad for? Y'all mad?
You want some too, old man?
Right. You know what I mean? Y'all lost some money.
All right, man. We got a lot of callers.
Big shout out to the first in the building, Stickum Boys Fishing and Sports on deck. You already know it's a Tuesday. First half of the week, man. We about to march through this like it's nothing. Shout out to you, man. Salute the first on decks. WCS salute chat fam. Bud been dropping gems lately. Yes, sir. Indeed. Man, shout out to the first $5 super chat of the morning. Don Vaughn on deck. Salute to you, brother. And thanks for supporting the channel. Salute WCS in the chat. Yes, sir. $5 on deck in the building. One love to your brother. Much appreciated. Carlos Rosado on deck this morning. Salute to you. What's good? Big Blunts and Boxing. The GOAT is in the building. Salute to y'all, man. What's good with it, bro? Jamal Neezy on deck. Salute WCS. Salute chat. What's good there, Neezy? How you feeling? Neezy said WCS been dropping some great shows back to back. Trying to, man. You know what I'm saying? You know what it is. You know when you talk about the same thing. trying to emphasize to these cats. But looking at the thumbnail, right? The Black Drago is now official. Terence Crawford was on Sway in the Morning, and he pretty much highlighted the fact of what he is in the ring. And we all know that character that was in the Rocky movie that ended the life of Apollo Creed. You know what I'm saying? You know, Apollo looked in great shape, and he was known to go in there and put in the work in the ring. You know, the red, white, and blue, that infamous song by James Brown, Living in America. I love that song. Living in America. Hey, you know what I'm saying? But he didn't know he was in there with a Russian killer. You know what I'm saying? Drago back then, man, he was doing incredible thing with his hands, you know, and he ended up beating Apollo Creed so badly. And just to give you a little emphasis of what I'm talking about, this movie back in the day, Drago's from the Soviet Union. So, Sylvester Stallone, of course, you know, American. This movie came out back in 1985. I think back in 1985, I might have been about 37 years old back in 1985, 38, 39 years old. Yeah, something like that. 40. I'm not sure. I might have been, let's see, I might have been 8 years old. I'm not sure. My brain a little foggy. I'm a little bit older right now. I don't know how old I was, god damn it. But I know the movie came out November 21st, 1985. And the budget was 28 million. So you can only imagine how much of a special boxing show this was, because we didn't have too many boxing shows, even though this depicted characters that went through choreography and stuff like that. It was still good. I mean, you know, Rocky was like Rocky Marciano, really. You know, Rocky Marciano used to take a beating just to give a punch and get his get back. You feel me? Rocky Marciano used to get beat up some bad. Real talk. He used to get beat up some bad before winning his fights. But in this depiction, you know, here came Drago. And we all know what happened with that. You know what I'm saying? Drago came in there and took out one of Rocky previous opponents. You know, one of my favorite characters, Apollo Creed. And he beat him down. And that's where the infamous throw in the towel came in at. But right, 2023, you have Terence Crawford coming off this fight in July 29th. But before I get into that, I want to give a big salute to the hottest chat in the MFing game, A-side official. You already know, man, right here, right now. That's what we got. Right here, front and center, WCS. You already know, kicking off the week on a Tuesday, man. The hottest chat in the game. Salute to y'all. AU's on deck. Shout out to WCS from Detroit, finishing teaching the haters. It's never gonna be finished, bro. It's never gonna be finished. You know what I'm saying? It's never gonna be finished. Never. You know what I'm saying? It's never going to be finished because some people requires more teaching than the other. So what I want to do is go through this interview a little bit and let y'all listen to certain parts, because I always do a reaction to these podcasts. And being that Terence Crawford is the face of boxing right now, I'm talking about he's everywhere. Bud Crawford is everywhere now. And you know, he's giving you an intricate part of, you know, his privacy a little bit. He's actually letting the people know how he thinks as a person. Before, we just seen his stoic demeanor. He was just going in there finishing fights. Now he's talking to the world. Now he's vocalizing, you know what I'm saying, what a lot of us didn't know before. How he feels, what's going through his mind, what he think about certain situations. You know what I'm saying? From the outside, we know there was so much criticism coming from the writers. I even read several articles that was criticizing Crawford for having, you know, mediocre competition, haven't fought anybody except cannon fathers. You know what I'm saying? They really didn't give this man no credit. And for him to harvest all that, and then on July 29th, unwrap it for everyone to see. The millions watch it. Just unwrap it right there in the ring and make it look so simple, bro. People are still in shock. So let's get to this interview with the Breakfast Club. You know what I'm saying? I grew up watching them. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Sway. I rocks with Sway. But let's get back to the beginning, the introduction, because it's much needed. You know what I'm saying? It's deserving. And, you know, I did talk to Coach Malachi this morning. Prayers go up to you, Coach. Definitely. You know what I'm saying? I did speak with him early this morning. So I'm not supposed to give out any information, but I'm letting you know that he's keep him in your prayers. That's all I can say. Let's kick it.
No, but I know Bud. That's my guy. So now when I say his name, I get ringside seats, ladies and gentlemen. The undisputed Terence Crawford is here. I brag about it. I show people pictures that I took with Terence. So they know. Terence looking at me like, what the hell is going on? I show him, look at this picture of me and Terence. I taught him how to throw that hook. I just throw that in there. Tell Bomac, forgive me. But I taught him how to throw that hook. I brag about it, man. I want to say congratulations, brother. I'm happy to see you, man. I feel like I won the titles.
You did, homie. You did.
Right?
You did. We won that.
What's been the best part about this for you? You've been handling this so calmly and with so much serenity. Like, we have yet to see you get hyped.
I don't know. I think the reason why I'm not as hype as everybody thought I'd be because I already knew what I was capable of doing.
Yeah.
So it's.
And let me let you know something, right? Crawford is in Sway in the morning, and this is after the fight. Crawford's up here in a black hoodie. Hey, I don't know if he got black AF1s on, but it's summertime in most spots. But Crawford up here in a black hoodie, dog. Do he not know? I don't know. He may not know that he may still be on that time. You feel me? Crawford's in an all black hoodie, dog. An all black hoodie.
Just like, I just had to prove it to the people that doubted me. I didn't really have to prove it to myself. Because if you could remember, I was like, I don't need Spence. Spence need me. I didn't really too much care about the fight no more because.
Okay, he put it out there again because I know there's a lot of pro Spence fans that always use that as if Crawford didn't want the fight. So freaking what? He didn't want the fight. He just said it again. He got tired of it. He didn't want the fight because, he wasn't going to go through thick and thin and go in there and fight for pennies. You know what I'm saying? Have that man in there fighting on slave wages. You know what I'm saying? Have people saying what they were saying about breaking him like a slave and all this stuff. He didn't need him. And I think that was another profound statement he mentioned because people ran with it. And he was right. He didn't need him for his legacy. While the man was lied on and said, you know what I'm saying, he could have came into to boxing at a much higher weight. The man came in at lower weights and became productive. He began his journey towards being a championship, and he ended up earning several championships before he even got to 147. So, when he's saying he got there and there was nothing going on up there except Keith Thurman, you know what I'm saying? Errol Spence was in the process of trying to build and chasing behind Keith Thurman. So for him, he went out there once again, focused and did what he had to do. I'm pretty sure back then, if he would, if Errol Spence would have made the point to fight Crawford right away once he entered the division, I'm pretty sure he would have did it. I'm pretty sure they would have got that out the way. You just think about it. Why wouldn't PBC do that? You know what I'm saying? Because if their goal was to become undisputed, they had a better chance at doing it when he initially came into the division. Not start packing away, opponents and in front of everybody's eyes, and they still believe this man is not who he say he is.
I couldn't get the fight. So when I finally got the fight, I was like, all right, I was excited. I was like, yeah, now I get to show the world, the real Terence Crawford.
But you don't know what's going to happen when the bell first rings. You can only go through it in your mind. You sat here and said, I don't know if this is going to be a hard fight. We don't know until we get in the ring. At what moment in that first round did you catch a feeling that, okay, I could dominate this, or I see how this is going to go?
When it first started, I already knew.
You knew when the bell rang?
I already knew. First and foremost, I knew he haven't faced a southpaw in some time now, and I think he only faced 2 southpaws in his whole career.
Yeah.
So he's mentioning information, criteria, you know what I'm saying, on how his team was training. You know what I'm saying? He's mentioning criteria that he's using, for his mental, you know what I'm saying, and his mental, his commitment for training for this fight, man. You know what I'm saying? His mental stability. He's understanding what he's going in there against. He's breaking it down. He's pretty much saying, yeah, this guy's fought only 2 southpaws. So pretty much, regardless if he was warming up in the back in orthodox and doing open workouts in orthodox and southpaw, he was coming out in southpaw. That was the deal. You know what I'm saying? That's his original stance, but that's just being smart. That's genius for him to understand that.
So I was very confident. I trained my ass off for that fight. Like, I really trained. That's probably one of my hardest training camps. And I knew mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually, I was ready.
He said he knows mentally, physically, emotional, and spiritually that he was ready. That's a man that's understanding what he's put his self through. I just didn't get that from Spence, and that's what I was trying to tell the people. I didn't get it from him. I did not get it from him. Real talk. I didn't get it from him. I did not see it on the other side that you had broken yourself down and then, ventured into a whole nother pain threshold to push yourself past the level that you've never been. You aerosexuals, you can say what you didn't hear on stage. Oh, that Crawford said he was 100%. Well, look, I didn't hear Spence say anything like this, that it was his hardest training camp either. So what that say about his preparation for a killer? You know what I'm saying? The Black Drago. Say about Crawford understanding that he's going in there against Spence. How can y'all overlook the fact that this man prepared for Spence like he was the top dog, like he was ahead of him on the pound for pound list? That's what I'm getting. Crawford prepared for this man like he hasn't been in an accident, bro. He prepared for him like he's been at the top of the pound for pound list. And Crawford's been trying to catch up. He prepared for this man like this is going to be one of my toughest challenges, even though he never admitted when the question was asked, do you think this is going to be your toughest fight? Well, I don't know. I have to see when I get in there. But on the outside, you know what I'm saying? When nobody's looking, when the doors are locked, I'm locked in. Me and my team is locked in and we ready. I never heard that at all from Diddy James, EJ. I didn't hear none of this shit. When you hear human beings, athletes, top level elites talk like this, you got to understand, man, how much of an advantage that is when people are saying, out of all I'm accomplishing in my career, everything, with all the people saying that Spence can beat everybody on Crawford's resume, everything, that doesn't break down Crawford's motivation to train harder. It only builds him. It only motivates him to stump that much harder going forward, to put that much more time in. For a man to say this is my hardest training camp off a guy who myself, I always said that Spence had, 0%, but I'm not the boxer. He has 0% chance of beating Crawford. I didn't say stepping in the ring and boxing him. He had a 0% chance. And this is one of the reasons, because my mindset is the same as Crawford. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm looking at the discipline part of it, his hunger, what motivates him, who he has around him, his success up to this point.
And I knew he didn't train as hard as I did. In my heart, I'm like, he didn't go through what I went through. So if it becomes a dog fight, he's not gonna win.
He thought that.
He say if it becomes a dog fight, he ain't gonna win. Listen to me, y'all. The mindset, if it become a dog fight, he ain't gonna win. I guess I relates different. I swear. I guess I relate different in certain aspects, man, to that, because I totally get where he coming from, a dog fight. You know what I'm saying? If it's a dog fight, he ain't gonna win. You know what I'm saying? If it has to be thrown out the window, the strategy that we practice in the gym to keep it boxing. You know what I'm saying? To keep it boxing. If that has to go away, then I have a whole entire different area that we're not talking about offensive strategy and technique. You know what I'm saying? Who has the best jab? No, we fighting. That's where we at with it. It's all out tit for tat, punch for punch, mano a mano. It's all out dog fight. He said he ain't gonna win, y'all. He's not gonna win. Real talk. He's not going to win.
Opposite. He thought if it became a dog fight, he was gonna break you down. We didn't see that, horse. We didn't see that.
So you said this was your best training camp you ever had. You think that you put this most work in? You think, as far as fighting?
No, I'm saying it was my hardest training camp.
So it's your hardest, but you said it was hard to make that weight at 147
for sure.
But you had a hard training camp. What did you do different in this camp that you didn't do in other camps?
I had a pre-camp.
Okay.
I ain't never had no pre-camp. So we had
what's a pre-camp?
We had a camp before camp.
So let me explain to you, because it's all about therapy. And I seen Jamal Neasy over there, you know, solo dolo, trying to convince, trying to detain the stupidity. That's impossible for you to do by yourself, brother. I was trying to help you out. They ducked me. But shout out to Jamal Neasy over there explaining his shit. You know what I'm saying? Trying to give him the freaking wasabi. But check this out, though. The aerosexuals, it's a lot of what he's telling you all that you ran with and tried to twist it, right? The man had a pre-camp before fight camp. And I spoke about him staying out there, getting his body ready, getting it conditioned, mentally and physically preparing himself for a fight against Errol Spence, who he never took for granted, bro. See, that's what separates Crawford fans from Spence fans. The Spence fans, they took Crawford for a joke. All we heard was he's chinny. You know, he can't do this. He ain't fought nobody. You never gave him credit as a boxer, period. You know what I'm saying? You didn't give him no credit for anybody that he stopped. You said they was trash. His undisputed birth at 140. You didn't give him credit because Julius Ndongo had not been able to keep a consistent winning streak after Crawford, right? You said Gamboa wasn't shit. You know what I'm saying? When Crawford fought him, he was a trash can. It's amazing because Gamboa was the hitter back then, and he was undefeated when Crawford fought him. They talk about Ricky Burns like he wasn't shit, a multi-time world champion, like he wasn't shit, right? Victor Postal, you know what I'm saying? Thomas Delorme, I mean Felix Diaz. The list goes on, right? The list goes on. What about Prescott? All these names this man was fighting and nothing really mattered. They said Crawford fought him. They was trash. But when Errol Spence fought his opponents, they say that man damaged them forever. They was never the same. But yet when it comes to Julius Ndongo not maintaining a consistent win streak, you say he was garbage when Crawford fought him. And he was undefeated. So you have an ex parte heavy, saturated and biased when it comes to when Spence fights somebody, they never the same. But this man did a pre-camp. He never underestimated who he was stepping in there with. He was expecting the best at all, the best Spence he can possibly get. The best. That's what he was training for. That man did a pre-camp. You're talking about somebody who already been undisputed before, who has all knockouts at the welterweight division. And this man did a pre-camp. A pre-camp for Errol Spence, bro. He did a pre-camp. He took that shit serious. Now that's what I'm talking about. That's the mindset of a champion, ain't it?
You know.
Wow.
So, yeah, that was tough. Then, actually going to camp. Then after camp, we going to Vegas, back to, to finish up the finishing pieces. And, then the rest is history.
But because for real, when you came in at 146, I was going, man, boy, got the 8-pack. I was like, yo, bud, you went hard this year. I mean, for real, you really went hard. And promoting the fight, it was funny because every time I seen y'all go face to face, as soon as you go face to face with him, we used to laugh. And I used to be like, yo, I don't know what it is about Bud. Bud is like not taking him as serious as everybody think that he is. He's looking at the fight like, is we serious? We about to do this for real? And I told you, like I told you outside, I really thought, like, what are they going to do to back out this fight? Because everything just seemed like around the fight, everything was happening. I mean, the audience was getting into it.
Yeah,
He was
bro.
arguing back and forth with the crowd. Backstage, other boxers were getting slapped. I was like, hey, man, there's a lot going on over here right now. I said, is this fight going to go on, or is Bud going to get active and jump in the crowd and it's all going to go off? So to see this fight go down and the performance that you put on, man, I mean, it's hands down masterpiece, man. It's a masterpiece performance, man.
Appreciate it.
Did you watch it yet?
Yeah, I watched it. I watched it twice.
So he said Bud had a masterpiece performance. And at this point, we all concur with that, right? As grown human beings and boxing aficionados, we concur with that shit. It was a masterpiece. One of the best masterpieces that you would see coming from a pound-for-pound fighter, right? A pound-for-pound fighter in Bud Crawford, who fought another pound-for-pound fighter in Errol Spence Jr. But one underlining aspect is that when the fight played out, the value did not add up to pound for pound versus pound for pound, the best fighting the best, because there was levels in between them two that wasn't able to be displayed until July 29th. We had to cross over that bridge, and no one was willing to pay the toll, right? You had more people burning down the bridge than more people building up the bridge to make it stable enough the crossover make this fight happen. They was busy just tearing it down with negative press. So when the fight date was officially announced on IG, the Spence fans were still, you know what I'm saying, unhappy. They were still mad. You would think they would now be bigging up and collectively as a group complimenting, talking positive about this fight. But it never really went down like that. Almost like they knew this was a problem. They knew that this was going to be the demise of the easy route. They knew this shit, y'all. They knew this would be the end point of the easy route. They knew what was sitting at the last station. This is where the train stops. You know what I'm saying? This is where the train stops. You can't go no further than this until you take care of this business right here. Your destination was for undisputed. This is where you're supposed to get off July 29th, T-Mobile Arena, and go in there and face Crawford. And hearing Crawford, you know, talk about pre-camp and going in there and taking this like he was seriously the underdog, but having confidence in himself, is saying, hey, I know this man didn't train harder than me. I know he didn't. I'm just being honest. He didn't train harder than me. When you go out there and do anything in life, and you know you did enough, especially when it comes to a physical sport, and you know you've been blessed to be the better than the average athlete, the average person in life, you know when you don't push yourself to a different limit. And I think that's what Bud knew. He pushed himself to a different limit when it came to Spence. I kept on telling people, like, Spence is out here doing things that's going to hurt him. But like I mentioned yesterday, we can't knock percentages on how Errol Spence looked in the ring July 29th. We can't use that. That's the coward way of doing things. That's not what your parents taught you. They didn't raise you to be a coward. You know what I'm saying? Stand for something to fall for anything. You all are on YTC falling for anything. Why? Because his coach said he wasn't 50% when he was facing them fights after the accident. So when Crawford goes in here and expose whatever percent he was, there's no way. It's impossible for us as boxing fans to gauge what percentage he was. All we know is he cleared everything he's supposed to clear. He talked this shit on stage. And none of you all are willing to hold him accountable for saying that he was going to break that man like Kunta. You know what I'm saying? I know it hurts.
Nah, you watched it more than that. Come
No,
on.
really, because at first you couldn't get it.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't on YouTube or anything.
That's
And,
true. Yeah.
and, I had to wait to get a link, and then I watched it the other day.
Was it exciting looking at yourself go to work like that?
Yeah, of course. When I look at myself, I always try to look at my flaws, look at the things that I could have did better in the ring, or things that I missed. Like, dang, man, I should have threw a body shot right there. Or dang.
I like that. Once again, here we go. Him talking like a champion. Him being Bud Crawford, 2-time undisputed world champion, the first to ever do it. This man is up here saying finally, when he was able to get a link and see the fight, he was looking at his flaws. I don't really ever hear Spence talk about looking at his flaws, right? Because he loves living out of pocket. A person that may live out of pocket may totally ignore. They may absolutely jettison the fact of flaws that may be active in their skill set. Maybe him coming forward and getting hit too much, working on those flaws. I never hear his fans talk about the flaws he has, and they made it say the same about Crawford supporters. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't talk about his flaws. You know what I'm saying? I just let them do it. I heard it so much from them. I said, okay, well, you take the lead on that. You're doing a good job at it. He's chinny. You know what I'm saying? He's lighting the ass. He ain't fought nobody. You know what I'm saying? He starts off slow to collect data. It's pointless for him to switch stances because he does nothing in the orthodox position. So the man comes out there in southpaw from the opening second, and he gives Spence the worst beat down he ever received in his freaking professional career. A lot of the bullshit indexes that y'all was writing, attempting to write chapters to, that book has been burned and burned to the ground.
Dang, I should have did this or that. So I'm always critiquing myself.
With the flaws you saw in this fight, I ain't see no flaws.
Yeah, I was like, what did you say?
Oh man, I left a lot on the table. You know what I mean? Like I'm kind of hard on myself. So, looking at little things like in the inside or things that I could have did, on the outside, I look at a lot.
Man, but
You think
So he said, he left a lot on the table, and we understand that. I agree, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you in the hottest chat in the game, hearing that, you agree too. The reason why we may agree, we do agree. I'm not talking for grown adults. First of all, the reason that I may agree and you all may agree that he left a lot on the table because it's a lot of his, professional skill set or portfolio as a boxer that we haven't seen. When I say portfolio, not just the achievements, but when it comes to the skill, the areas of skills, you know what I'm saying? What we admire about his skill set. It's a lot that we haven't been able to witness because there haven't been opposition in there to pull it or take him to that depth. And I think Crawford talked about this in this interview where, he hasn't been taking that. It hasn't been an opponent to pull it out of him. You know what I'm saying? And people get mad because, Crawford is supposedly not using all his skills. But if he's getting the job done with the skill sets he has, the skills that he has, right? The skills that he's displaying for his opposition, right? If he's getting the job done in such a way, what more does he have to do? Because we're talking about 3 minutes per round. And we're talking about what's presented to him. So if a fighter is executing a certain type of technique, a skill to combat what that adversary is doing at the moment, and what we don't see initially, what he hasn't shown us, maybe it's not required. Maybe he doesn't have to go into the A side of weaponry. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he's just starting off with the C side of weaponry, and getting warmed up, and he's finding out his C side of weaponry is just enough. He don't have to go to the B and to the A. He don't have to use. He can start off at C and use all those weapons until they exhausted. But guess what? I don't think Errol Spence even forced him to go to the B side of weaponry. You know what I'm saying? And then work it up to the A. You know what I'm saying? He never did. He never pulled the shit out of him. So people get mad because we ain't see it. But yet, imagine if he just went ham. He just went ham and finished the fight in 2 rounds. And people would have been rioting up in there. They would have been throwing stuff. They would have talked about it was fixed. They would have been saying Crawford paid Spence off because he couldn't beat him for real. So what he did was carry him all the way to the 9th round and stopped him.
You could have ended the fight sooner.
Of course.
When did you feel like you could have if you wanted to end the fight?
Well, I wouldn't say I think I could have, because Errol is a tough opponent. He's a tough fighter. He's a great fighter. So he wasn't gonna lay down or sit down for nobody. So I can't even say that. You know, the fight stopped when it was supposed to happen.
Terence Crawford is here, 2-time undisputed champion right here. Nobody could say they done that. I love Errol Spence Jr. It was a hard thing for me because you and I feel closer. What did he do well, you thought?
Well, I thought he was just, you know me, a fighter that's very consistent in what he doing.
So Sway asked him, what does Errol Spence do well? And you know, Crawford's reply, of course, he gave kudos to Spence prior to them stepping in the ring. He also put it out there that, you know, he's been a fan. And, you know, certain Aerosexuals went up there and used that as, oh, see, Crawford's a fan. What person say that? Crawford's a fan. Crawford's a fan. You know, they ran with that. Like 2 kids that just stole their first pack of bubble gum out the store and they got away with it. But they didn't know that the clerk seen them. You know what I'm saying? I'm just putting it out there, but they was running down the street happy. Crawford's a fan. Crawford's a fan. See, that's what we talk about. Crawford's a fan. He say, yeah, you know, he fought great opposition. He was complimentary leading up to the fight. And even now, he say that Errol Spence is consistent. He's about to tell you what the good is. He was consistent, y'all.
Like, you know, he consistent with his jab. He's consistent with going to the body. He's consistent with cutting the ring off. So, you know, everything that he does was just basic, but it was consistent. You know,
he said everything he did was basic, but consistent. So he complimented him with the jab. You know what I'm saying? He complimented. That's because everybody else was talking about that was over there. His jab. How he gonna get past the jab? Crawford can't get past the jab. He too chinny. He too slow. He collects data. And goddamn, Errol Spence comes out. And when Errol Spence step, oh my God, Crawford ain't gonna be able to step at all. He's gonna get stepped on. He ain't never been in there with nobody like that. Is gonna put that pressure on him. Oh my God. No way, no how. They talking about pressure burst pipes. Oh, he's gonna burst goddamn Crawford wide open, have him looking like goddamn Udenis Ugas, because he's the eye collector. He's gonna F Crawford up. That's all we heard. That's all we heard.
Oh, that's how his opponents down. It's constant pressure. It's the constant jabs. It's the constant wear and tear from the body and stuff like that. So, you know, everything starts with the jab. Everything ends with the jab. And so we knew coming into the fight, we're gonna take his jab away.
Love it, man. I love it.
What excuse me, sir? Hey, you know, Black Drago, what did you say you was gonna do? Hello? Black Drago, excuse me. Are you there? You still there? Yeah. I have this one question. You say you was gonna take what away? So you all plan to go in there and take one of Spence's strongest attributes as a fighter away from him? Now, when I was growing up, I was taught not to be selfish. And initially, when I heard you say this, that you always plan on taking something away from Errol, I had to think about it as an older gentleman, an older statesman in the world, you know what I'm saying, in the boxing game. I had to say, you know what? Is it something I need to criticize Crawford for? You know, taking some away from Spence? And I said, nah. I had to reevaluate what I was thinking. And yeah, it was his every right to take that shit away. because that is the process of coming up with the best fight strategy. You know what I'm saying? You want to disrupt your opponent's rhythm, and taking something away that they're consistently doing, even though it's basic, but they consistently have been known to break their opposition down. I think that was genius. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to take his best attribute that people are so braggadocious about, and we're going to make it ineffective. You know what I'm saying? So it won't be efficacious to break down or apply any damage to who? Terence Bud Crawford. You feel me?
Tracy's a boxing fanatic. Last time you came, she didn't get a chance to really ask a question, and so this time she asked.
I'm gonna fast forward past that because her question kind of, was way off the mark. But to her credit, you know what I'm saying? She might have been caught off guard. Who knows? But I'm gonna fast forward.
It's a really
of action.
like that. Appreciate you. You want to go off coffee?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say, because my boy hit me. We had a big fight party at the house. It was huge. It was gigantic.
Bridge business.
Yeah, it was a big party, and my boy hit me. And so if that, and I don't know if I'm speaking too soon, but if that rematch doesn't happen, I ran out because the Charlo brother was talking shit, and you was like yelling. I'm like, yo, they gonna fight right now. So is that the next fight?
Well, he about to fight Canelo in I believe September somewhat, but he's got obligations to fulfill with that fight.
Another fight, okay.
And me, I'm just chilling right now, enjoying my victory.
Take your time, man.
Enjoying my victory.
Bud was talking shit to Charlo in the ring.
I
Yeah.
thought that's what I was,
next.
but that's what I was.
Who does
Yeah,
that?
that's what I was looking at, because it was like it ain't gonna be no rematch.
It
So
ain't gonna be no rematch.
No.
Wow. The fight reportedly sold 650,000 PPVs, pay-per-views, generating 55 million for ticket sales.
congratulations.
Hey, Terrence, I want to take
you
it.
say this real
Go
quick.
ahead. My bad, homie.
Congratulations,
Mhm.
because Terence Crawford has had a really checkered career behind the scenes. Being an independent-minded boxer, having to leave management he was with before, kind of being shut out of the big fights because he's so talented and he would be a liability to anybody. And through his patience, his perseverance, and tenacity, here you are. And now you're starting to enter the realm where you can make the kind of money Mayweather was making. You know what I mean? What is your vision with money of this size? Other than taking care of your family and yourself, do you have a vision of what you would like to do once you're able to make that kind of money?
To be honest, I don't even think about that stuff.
Okay.
Like I ain't even got no vision.
Okay.
My sights ain't even set on that right now.
On what you gonna do once money start coming in?
Well, money already there.
Okay, you heard that shit. That's my brother. That's why we blood related.
Now you're a cousin.
But you got to think about that, because I would imagine at some point, because how many stories have we heard of boxers and athletes who have made a lot of money, and then at the end of their career they didn't have any left.
That's because they didn't have no plan.
Okay.
I started my plan probably like 2013.
Okay.
So I already.
Well, speaking about a plan that he started back in 2013, I can only assume that, being signed with Top Rank, what I'm saying, being in that era where he was beneath the Top Rank banner, when his contract had him getting more than usual for a fighter, what I'm saying, when it comes to guaranteed money, I think that is a tribute to somebody, outside of himself, and being around him to negotiate something like that, to get that much money, for guarantee, when you're not a pay-per-view star at all, but you're getting, a high guarantee. Most in certain fighters that probably wouldn't even getting 50% close to what you was getting as a guarantee. But ultimately, this man was accused of negotiating in bad faith, being a bad business fighter, not doing anything right when it came to his money. The only thing they wanted to hype on is when he was leaving Top Rank, and Bob Arum say he lost enough money to buy a house in Beverly Hills. They didn't quite understand the pay-per-view scale, as far as how much a fighter gets paid when they're not really a pay-per-view star, and the range that widens once you do hit pay-per-view or whatever the case may be, or you increase your accolades as a fighter. You know what I'm saying? Your appraising value as a fighter. But they just ran with Bob Arum saying he lost a lot of money on Terence Crawford, and they looked at that as like Terence can't do anything. He's not a top seller. But this is the time where Terence is on the pound for pound list, right? Unfortunately, in boxing, those individuals that's on the pound for pound list doesn't get paid any any excess money or stipends per month for being on the pound for pound list. It would be good if they should. If they could, but it's more than one pound for pound list, right? And then also, we don't understand or know, or nor are we educated on the criteria that goes in being on the pound for pound list. But anyway, back to it. Crawford made some really good money with Spence. It's better late than never. You feel me? It's better late than never for him to get this. And I said before, if it wasn't for Crawford coming to the 147-pound division, Spence would have never got his highest payday like that. Because, he had the belts, but he really didn't have anybody to build up a rivalry with. And usually a rivalry comes off one fight. They said, we want to see that again. That's how I worked with Canelo and Gennady Golovkin. That first fight was in a draw, a controversial draw, but yet everybody was tuned in for the rematch. And it was so much, banter, verbal sparring. And neither fighter had even stepped in the ring yet. Wild. It's crazy.
I had a plan. Like I said before, I wasn't going to fight Spence.
Mhm.
And that was probably going to be the end of it. I could have retired then, can retire now, and be comfortable because of the investments that I had, put forth in years ago.
I love that.
Congrats.
Okay, cool. All right.
Bud Crawford's talking about the investment he has years ago, and he in there in an all-black hoodie. You know what I'm saying? It's summertime out this month. He in an all-black hoodie. I guess he know where he at. You feel me? He in an all-black hoodie, man. Real talk. And it's a pullover too, what it looked like.
I know we got a lake on that, a house on the lake we're going to be fishing in. Go ahead, or
But I want to take you to the
I'm family. Terrence can't get me. I'm stuck. He's stuck with me.
I want to go to the post-fight interviews after the fight, and you were sitting up there and you seen a room full of writers and supporters of
I'm gonna
boxing.
fast
They
forward
wrote
towards
all
this
these
because
things.
I
They
already
wrote you off.
already
They said
did my
you was too
intro with
small.
it.
My dad was a custodian, and you were doing a lot of amateur fights. And I have a picture of you with me, super, super small, and you had your arm around me. And seeing you now, and first of all, congratulations, since beating Spence and all the accolades that you have. My only question was motivation. I mean, man, you've been boxing since you were 7. I've been watching you since forever. Other than family, I know you said money is whatever, but what else is a huge motivation every day that keeps you being, E. Crawford or Bud or just nasty at your sport?
To be honest, 100% honest, I believe it was Spence. Me being able to get in the ring with him and prove everybody wrong, because I'm a big competitor, and I've been dealing with this for five years, and this was something that I really wanted a long time ago, and I've been calling for, and I think just proving everybody wrong was my motivation in this fight.
Hey, Jamal, great question, even though you from Jersey. Thank you.
He said his motivation was proving everybody wrong. That was a lot of people to prove wrong. But I guess if you have that dynamic within yourself, like you're sure of what your desires are, what inspires you, that can be fuel too. That can be fuel for your motivation and hunger to keep that appetite, you know what I'm saying, going the way it is, especially when you hit them points of failure, so to speak, and you got to push through it and meet new thresholds. You push yourself, and it's a big salute to Crawford for challenging himself first. You know what I'm saying? For challenge himself. You know what I'm saying? He was challenging himself to go in there and reach new heights, even with the level that he's on right now. He's at the highest of the high, man. He's up here challenging himself to go in there and compete against a fighter that he believes that cannot outwork him in a dogfight. Because ultimately, people have accused Crawford of throwing away his fighting, strategy, his offensive strategy, his fight plan, and just going in there and fighting. You know what I'm saying? And look, this is boxing at the end of the day. And these people talk about the sweet science all day long, but they were so angry and disgruntled with Crawford that because he was a fighter, he could get, dog. He could bring that dognacious mentality out when he wanted to. But they wanted to act like they wanted to keep it clean. Hey, man, just show us your boxing skills. You're not that good. We don't want to see that dog come out. We just want you to keep it all nice. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to make it sloppy. When you fight like that, you're making it sloppy. It looks like your coaches are failing you. You're not doing enough inside the gym. We want to see the sweet science. No, man. Come on, man. The sweet science consists of brawlers. You know what I'm saying? Technicians. All that shit.
Don't do that.
All right, we got Chew on the line. Chew is Chew's one of our podcast ambassadors. He's in the streets in Louisiana. Chew places bets on fights too, and Chew actually bet against you, Terrence. So I want to bring him up on there. Chew, what up, baby? How you doing?
Chew, was you in that crowd of reporters looking sad?
Don't change, loser.
Hey, what up, family? What up, family?
Go ahead, Chew.
Hey, bud, I told you last time I was a big fan of both of y'all. I picked Spence because I thought of the Olympic pedigree. I thought that might be the difference. Never have I been more wrong. But
The big thing about that was y'all can't hear it as far as audio visual is that when they had Chew on, he mentioned about he picked Spence because of his Olympic pedigree. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, the Olympic pedigree, Spence kind of squinched a little bit, like to say, huh? You know what I'm saying? Olympic pedigree. As you look back at the 2012 Olympics, Spence did not go far in the Olympics. So people have to look, okay, yeah, you made the Olympic team, but what did you do as an Olympian? It's still graded. It's still graded because well as I do, it's graded all the way up to the medal rounds. The gold isn't the silver and the silver isn't the bronze. You know what I'm saying? But if you're able to win or obtain one of those, yeah, you do have that respect. Oh, so-and-so's a bronze. Like it's plenty of Olympians that Crawford's been in the ring with. He don't get credit for. So that goes to show you, don't sit up here and act like, okay, we're going to praise Spence for bombing out and not making it to the medal rounds. But yet, Crawford has Olympians on his resume that no one wants to talk about. If you're aerosexual, you just don't want to bring them up because the truth hurts.
And by the way, Sway, I did not lose any money because nobody wanted whenever bet. So I didn't lose any money on the fight. Luckily,
came out even.
But I was at the fight, and congratulations, man. I can't say anything negative towards you. You're a true champ.
Yeah.
You're a people's champ.
Yes.
I have nothing but respect for you. The question I have is, Arrow alluded to wanting the rematch clause, but he asked, would you do it at 154? Is that your call or is that the promoter's call? And would you even think about moving up to 154 to fight him?
Okay, so first of all, I need you to say I'm a loser.
Let's go.
I never say that, but I did pick against you.
No, you gotta say
But
you're
I'm a big
losing.
fan of yours.
You gotta say you're a loser. You lost, right? You picked against me and lost. You gotta say you're a loser.
I didn't lose nothing though. I didn't lose nothing.
You lost your call.
I lost the call. All right, I lost the call.
No, but yeah, it's definitely my call. The ball's in my court. What they say, I'm the A side now, so everything is on my side.
Excuse me. Did the two-time undisputed world champion say he's the A side? From what we have witnessed previously, that would be correct. Crawford is the A side. And even though he's mentioned in that post-fight, it felt like he was the A side prior to July 29th. On July 29th, it felt like Crawford was the A side. It absolutely did feel that he was the A side when a fighter's giving him concessions. Talking about it was a grueling negotiations. Kudos to you, bro. Because look, Crawford say he used y'all criticism as motivation, but yet you all didn't stop. So if it takes somebody like myself to break it down and help you understand, it's not going to get any better during the rematch because now he has data. He's felt the punching power of Errol Spence. So you all continue to criticize this man. Did absolutely nothing prior to the fight. It only fueled him to have more motivation. You know what I'm saying? It fueled him to negotiate, strict negotiations, and get what he wanted. And he was able to get that out. Regardless of everything that y'all said with BOK Prime. Everything that you said when he was signed with Top Rank, being on the plantation, Top Rank Toby, it did zilch to restrict or oppress what he was able to accomplish leading up to that negotiation with Spence. It didn't stop him from making a phone call to Spence. It didn't stop him from going through negotiations and having a successful conclusion to consummate any type of doubt that people may have had that this fight wouldn't happen. Why? Because, Crawford didn't want the fight and he was busy trying to, ask for stuff he didn't deserve. You know what I'm saying? Give him 80-20, 70-30. You know what I'm saying? Whatever he get, 90-10, whatever we want to give him. That was out Spence's mouth. That was out his mouth now. But this man said he's the A side, shouty, the A side.
A side.
Would you consider moving up to 154 and fighting him?
Of course.
Or is that out the question?
Of course. Like I said, 154 was already in the near future. And yeah, we can do that at 54 as well.
So he said, hey, let me ask you the question. Would you mind moving up to 154? He said, of course. I don't need to go into detail about it. Next.
All right. Hey, Chu, can't wait, man. Hey, Chu, take that L with pride, though.
Yeah. Okay. No. Hey, big fan of both, Sway.
Okay.
If you got to pick a side, you got to pick a side.
Got to pick a side. That's what Drake says.
But I'll tell you this, in the next fight, I'll just watch. How about that?
Okay. There you go, man. You're a super citizen.
That's way in the morning.
I saw Gervonta Davis speaking about you. Is that ever a possible fight?
Yeah, if you want to dare to be great, he can be.
So Sway asked Terence Crawford about Gervonta Davis, what he said, and look, there are fighters out here that would be quick to say, okay, well, in my moment, you want to say something. I've heard Gervonta go this route, and I'm a Gervonta Davis fan too. You know what I'm saying? But I'm heavy on the Crawford side in this particular matchup. I'm not going to go to extreme details, about why the obvious is what it is. But it's been plenty of times that Devin Haney has did certain things while it's freaking Gervonta Davis's time, especially coming off the Ryan Garcia fight. And he would say stuff like, Devin Haney's clout chasing. He always want to do something when it's my time, when I'm up under the light. You know what I'm saying? When it's his brightest, he want to shine with me. He want to find some way to, get his name out there in the algorithm popular news. You know what I'm saying? That's out here in the airwaves. So when he mentioned Crawford, I didn't take it the same way as I would have taken when Gervonta Davis accuses Devin Haney of doing that. Why? Because this is not the first time. He said it on the Rise podcast that he wanted to fight Bud Crawford, and he made the comment that he'll knock him out. This was months and months ago. He said down the Rise podcast. So I'm not really tripping on Gervonta because he's a hunter too. I'm not really tripping on him mentioning stepping up and fighting Crawford in the method for which he did it. But I will say this, Tank. You know what I'm saying? Even though I will praise you for being who you are, you know what I'm saying, and being blessed like I always do. You and Crawford are blessed as apex predators in this game. But you will have, in my opinion, a difficult time going up to 47 and matching your IQ with Crawford's IQ. I have to give him an edge, you know what I'm saying, with the size first and foremost, the size, because both of these guys have boxing IQ out this world. You know what I'm saying? They do. But in this particular case, you're going in there with a guy that's incredibly strong for his size, who has certain other areas that he's able to use that strength, and he has deceptive power. You know what I'm saying? People keep on talking about TKOs, but one of the worst beatdowns, and this is after WCS did an entire live on the adjective and the noun. Now, I did an entire live because you have individuals prior to July 29th that was talking that TKOs ain't shit. When actually an opponent can be in worse condition when a TKO happened than a KO. The person can be more conscious doing a KO stoppage, right, than they would be a TKO. And he ended up, getting a TKO stoppage in one of the worst beatings, you know what I'm saying, that he's given his opponents in a TKO stoppage. I think they got the curriculum down packed now. I try to look as a substitute. I try to go in there and give them all the damn answers and help them study for the test, but they didn't want to.
Be like all the other fighters that moving up 2 weight classes, and daring to be great.
You would fight him,
man. Tell him to come up there.
He got to come to win 54.
He said I got a glass chin, so tell him to come and touch it.
Wow,
man. Was that a mic drop? You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure I have fun. I have a couple of Gervonta Davis team members, that I'm friends with on Facebook. And, we've been on here previously, you know what I'm saying, talking boxing or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I like Tank as a fighter. You know what I'm saying? He is one of the best of this era. Also, he is one of the best of this era, period. Even though him and Crawford has the same amount of divisions, Crawford's done more, point blank, period. And it would be tough for him to move up to 147. So if he feels that he can knock him out, then, Crawford said, come on here and touch it. It'll be an extremely tough fight for Tank. Extremely. I can understand you moving up to 140, but you moving up to 147 for a fighter who's already has put on display that he's stronger than what people would give him credit for at 147. He's way more stronger. Not only that, his strength is some different type of strength. You know what I'm saying? It's not that hood strength. You don't have hood strength, but it's that cock diesel, that strong, that natural innate strength that people are born with. Even Tank has some innate power to be so small. He has an innate power that he was blessed with. So does Crawford. But overall, as an athlete, you see him with wrestling, you see him with other things. He's cock strong, man. He's a strong dude. And that's going to play a significant role. You can't just say, well, in this case, he can't train that chin. That's not what y'all was saying about anything else when it came to Errol Spence. You know what I'm saying? Y'all was saying that Errol, who isn't a one-punch knockout artist like Tank, you were saying he's going to go in there and knock Crawford out because Crawford was chinny all the way 9 years ago now. At 135, 9 years ago, they still talking about Crawford being hurt. You know what I'm saying? They refused to mention all the previous knockdowns that Gamboa was in. But anyway, digressing.
They said you got a glass.
He said I got a glass chin. Tell him to come and touch it.
At 147?
At 147.
Oh,
I'll make 147 for him.
Ooh, see, oh man,
You're gonna have a pre-camp.
Then what the people gonna say? Oh, he's beating up on little guys.
I don't know. The people might want to see that one though, bro. That's just for the spectacle of it.
that's the only thing left really after like with 154 after he beat the Charlo brother. I mean, what's really
Hey, that would be a fight we want to see. That would be a fight we want to see. But I can tell you right now, Bud being 36 in September, he's not going to wait the whole year, 2024, till he turn 37 next September for you to be trying to fight this man when he's old. He's not going to do that. He's not going to give you the pleasure to do that shit. Even though Crawford said he might fight the 45, it's not going to be, okay, I'm going to go through a whole nother process like I did Spence, where they was blackballing me, where they was trying to stall me out. Now that he's established, and we all know who the A side is in this, you know what I'm saying? People can talk about money all they want, you know what I'm saying? But when you talk about accolades, I think this is one of those situations where it will be tough in negotiations to negotiate with Tank, being he's making money on the pay-per-view side. You know what I'm saying? It will be one of those negotiations to see how it all works out, because Terence Crawford has the more accolades, but Tank Davis has the higher numbers when it comes to pay-per-view. You know what I'm saying? And granted, also taking in consideration, they were in there with opposition. They wasn't in there fighting themselves.
next? I mean,
I'm not coming back down.
That's
when
what I'm
I
saying.
go up, I'm not coming back down. So
Too hard.
it's a wrap.
and all them dudes from 147, they gonna try to stay there because they ain't gonna come up. Bud right there 154, so they ain't going to come up. So they're gonna stay right there and have to fight.
The thing with you and Ennis, is this just fun competition, or is that really something is he on your list?
Nah, not really, but he's talented. You know, they doing everything they supposed to do to promote him. You know, but he don't bring nothing to the table right now at this point in my career.
Yeah,
you know, he ain't really fought nobody that he can say that he's worthy enough to, you know what I mean, step in the ring with me.
Mm-hmm.
And see, I like that. He said he hasn't done anything or fought anybody that's worthy enough to step in the ring with him. But yet you have these same individuals, these same voices, right? That was sitting up here drooling at the mouth, man. I'm talking about blowing goddamn snot bubbles that you never seen before. Huge. You would think they was down a bubble in the pandemic. Serious. They was up here pouting and crying, throwing tantrums. These individuals, when it came to Spence and Crawford, they were saying that Crawford ain't did shit in his career. He was already undisputed, right? But now all of a sudden, when it comes to Boots Ennis, he's ready because he got 31 victories. He's ready. He's deserving. I can't believe they're using the D word when it comes to Jaron Ennis, when that word was never something that Crawford was given when it came to Spence. They never blessed this man with the D word. He deserves to fight Spence. He deserved. It was always if it was a D word, deterrent. It was a deterrent. Well, he ain't fought nobody. Look at his opposition. They're cans, they're bombs. He ain't fought nobody. And Crawford had more knockouts than Spence had wins. But they never said this man was deserving to step in there with somebody like Spence. You know what I'm saying? Who was 28-0, y'all. He wasn't deserving. This man had more knockouts than Spence had wins. And then they would have attributed that to Bud Crawford coming in the sport at 2008. You know what I'm saying? Oh, well, he came in the sport much earlier. You have to take that in consideration now. Come on, man. Let's be fair. Yeah. But now all of a sudden they're saying Ennis is deserving. That's crap. That's a load of crap, bro. That is a load of crap. And like I said before, I'm not going to put these jackets on innings just because they put him on Spence. I have no reason. He's a black man like I am. Him and his pops are good people. But when it comes down to my critique, it's no different than where I critique Devin Haney and Bill didn't like it. You know what I'm saying? I even critique Teofimo Lopez on certain things, and you know, not to get off topic. Let me get back on topic. You know what I'm saying? Let me press play.
Like, not saying that his skills not worthy enough.
Yeah.
Not saying he's not talented enough, but right now that's not a mega fight for me.
Yeah. You got to think from a business perspective. A lot of people faulted Mayweather for how he selected the fights he made, but it was always a business with him, right? You can't be fighting you gotta, you gotta earn your right to the belts.
Man, I had to pick my stuff out the dirt. You know, I wasn't handed nothing. I had to fight tooth and nails to get to where I'm at. I didn't have no backing. I didn't have no big support system or any of that. So, you know, can't nobody tell me nothing.
Yeah.
I don't care who you is. You can't tell me nothing. I got it the hard way.
Yeah, but
he said, can't nobody tell him nothing. So somebody is saying they got it out the dirt, and being what we're able to see, you know, as far as his travels up to this point, it takes a strong individual, a strong individual that's cut from a different cloth to endure all the mud that he had to go through. You know, when he said he got out all the mud people was throwing at him. You know what I'm saying? People saying he can't do this, can't do that. He was going in there with fighters that was supposed to give him his first loss. It didn't happen. You know, he was going in here, continue to win. All alone, they always tell you, like, in boxing, you got to have something to fight for. You know what I'm saying? And getting it out the dirt. A lot of times, these fighters have something to fight for. You know what I'm saying? They have something to fight for. That's what keeps them driving. That's what keeps them hungry. That's what keeps them motivated, committed to accomplish. And some fighters, their mindset is different when it comes to the how they set goals. You know, somebody, you know, like Crawford could have just been satisfied with winning one championship at 135, and then just became a journeyman, started losing the shit because he lost any more drive. That's all I ever wanted to do. No, he just didn't want to just win one championship. He went in there and wanted to win multiple. And not only that, he wanted to fight the best competition. You know what I'm saying? So in doing that, he found himself fighting the best competition, you know, have a total of 9 undefeated fighters to his resume. And when he was supposed to go in there and have a tough fight, it didn't go down like that. You know what I'm saying? So maybe, you know, from what I understand, we've been witnessing a fighter that has been great for a long time. You know what I'm saying? Bud Crawford has been great for a long time. But since, you know, he was fighting fighters who was considered to be unpopular when it came to the boxing fans. And then, you know, you taking the boxing fans and how they change over dealing with social media. It was probably more of a popular fan base on the YTC that, you know, all these cliques and everything that they group up and try to get behind certain fighters. So maybe they was behind some of the fighters that Bud Crawford defeated. But since he defeated them so easily, you really didn't hear their name come back up for a rematch. You know what I'm saying? Who can say they rematched Bud Crawford? He's up here, no draws on his record, no draws at all, not giving step aside, not taking step aside money. You know what I'm saying? Fighting all his mandatories, doing what he's supposed to do. And I'm just saying, like, a lot of undefeated fighters that he fought was supposed to give him a fairly decent test as he was growing up in the ranks, and he just made it look easy, bro.
Talk that shit. Y'all can't tell us nothing.
You put yourself in it again? Us, you said?
Yeah, man. Bud
This
said.
guy,
Hey, but
me, he said.
Speaking on boxing, and you got yours from the mud. Why isn't the WBO respected as far as the belts? Like, they always give the belts for IBF, WBA, WBC, but when it come down to the WBO, they don't want to give them the same type of props as far as with fight.
I think it's mainly because, you know, Top Rank is more predominant WBO,
Okay.
and they feel as if, you know, since the WBA, the IBF, and the WBC been around longer than the WBO, that they don't really consider that a mega belt, I would say.
Because you was the second fighter that did that. I think Boo Boo Andreas had the WBO and he wanted to fight Canelo. And he was like, I'll never fight you. And I was like, what is it about the WBO belt that nobody want to get it to collect all the belts? Because to be the champion, undisputed, you got to get all of them, right? So that's why I was wondering, because I know you with the WBO. And I was like, man, why they giving Bud such a hard time to get these fights?
It wasn't that I was the WBO champion. That definitely wasn't it. It was who I am and what I bring to the table. And you know, if you don't gotta fight this guy, then you don't gotta fight this guy. So just leave him over there and let him do what he do, and we gonna do what we do over here with 3 belts.
So to clarify that, Terrence, they was ducking you. They wanted to find some out. The out was planned, but yet it failed. So that's what you're trying to say? That through the blackballing process, the plan did not work. It was ineffective. You know, sending the Kell Brooks, the Sean Porter over there at one last ditch effort to lift that title off, it didn't happen. I get it. I get it. I had to cogitate for a minute, but I get it. Seriously, I get it. I had to put my index finger on my head and look out the window like I was Malcolm. I got that shit. I got what you just said now. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't the belt you was holding. It was the individual with the belt. You know what I'm saying? The two should be one, but no, more so one half was more important than the second. I get it. I get it. I'm getting good at this shit.
He like the J. Cole of boxing. Did it your way, right? And so, and now you in total control. PBC did the deal with Canelo, right? The 3-fight deal for $100 million. Would you consider something like some type of partnership like that?
I don't know. We gotta see.
Okay, okay. We gotta see.
So Sway just asking would he consider some type of partnership, because you already know contractually Bud Crawford is locked in, so to speak, for a contractual consignment with Errol Spence in a rematch, right? Because why wouldn't you want a rematch? Why wouldn't you want a rematch? You know what I'm saying? It allows you to get a second paycheck. First of all, boxing is a business first. It allows a secondary paycheck to be distributed to both fighters and also those who are the shakers and movers to make it all happen. Okay. So it is money that's going to be a part of this also. But to lock in a 3-fight deal with somebody, you know, anything is possible, you know, especially you the A side and you making incredible amount of money on the back end of your career. Like this seems like just one of the more perfect scenarios that could play out. You know, the way he got it out the dirt, the cloud that was casted over him, right? All the inclement weather that people was just raining down on anything he was trying to do positive. They was trying to keep him from shining in the sport of boxing with each and every accomplishment that he did. So, you know, when you get somebody that's finally at the mountaintop, right? They're finally there. Now they get to call the shots. That is what's going to be interesting with Terence Crawford. He gets to call the shots. You know what I'm saying? And we saw bits and pieces of this play out July 29th. He was calling the shots. And we're damn near mid-month of August. And we still haven't heard anything from Errol Spence on whether he's going to take this rematch by the end of the year. Just to let you know that.
Yeah, but he said we gotta see.
I heard we that time. That was 1 week.
Yeah, because I got a team, man. Yeah, we gotta see what makes sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we'll talk about it. Now that you're in this position, what you're seeing here is an outlier who actually came in and beat the system, and now he's at top. So the business has to run through Terence Crawford.
He disrupted it.
He disrupted the business. So now this is the time where the business could change. We hear a whole lot of, you know, discrepancies about boxing. How would you like to see boxing improve if you had it your way?
If I had it my way, I would like to see you know, boxing improved more so, you know, health wise,
Mm-hmm.
you know, a pension after boxing. I would like for it to be just one title,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and you don't gotta pay for it. Why would you have? Why do we gotta pay to be the champ?
Yeah.
You know, if we, you know, put our lives on the line, our blood, sweat, and tears, why do we gotta give these sanction bodies a percentage of it? I don't get that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Y'all not in there fighting. Y'all just make a belt. In reality, it's just a trophy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm paying you for a trophy every time I fight.
Wow.
You know, so I would want it like that, and I would just want it, you know, more more fair into like the rankings, and you know, if somebody worthy enough to fought to get to a point where they can challenge for a title,
Mm-hmm.
then get that person that shot. You
Yeah.
know, don't hold that person back because you can make more money with this opponent. You know, let everybody get their shot
Mm-hmm.
on down the line.
Make
Yeah, everybody getting their shot would be extremely impossible as always. We know that. For those of you that have been around the sport, for everybody just to get their shot that's deserving, that's in the rankings. If the rankings wasn't considered to be a bit tainted itself, it would be taken more seriously. But like fighters be losing in championship fights and losing in contending fights, but yet they hang around at the top 3, top 5, only position themselves for another title shot up the road and stuff like that. It definitely depends on what promotion you're with, what's your manager. As long as we got something like that that's polluting the integrity of the ranking system, it's always going to be kind of crazy to say, okay, the best should be fighting the best, but the best isn't necessarily high in the rankings. You feel me? Like you have the ranking systems 1 through 15, but you have the pound for pound 1 through 10, which makes no sense to me because it gets very, very distorted when you get to like around 6th or 7th in the top 10. It gets very, very, cloudy. So the criteria for whoever's voting on these fighters in the ranking system, that will always be up for debate. What is it exactly? What is the criteria? How can this person lose and still stay there? And then one title, I agree with Crawford. Hey, the sanctioned bodies, man, make these guys pay 3%. Fighters really don't mention, what Errol Spencer mentioned, what I'm saying, during the press conference. But you have to pay. You have earned your spot to fight for a championship, and you win, and then you have to pay for the belt. You have to pay for the belt. It's no option that you cannot pay for the belt. So you work your way up to a slot to fight for the championship. And in order for you to fight, or you have to agree that the sanction body is going to take theirs right off the top. You know what I'm saying? But I never heard that. What if you say, you know what, I'm gonna fight this championship fight. What is a way that I can fight, for the championship, but not pay the 3%? Because just like Crawford said, it's a trophy. So you paying 3%, and we don't know, just like Spence asked, we don't know where the 3% actually goes, right? And it's the 3% fixed rate. No, it's not. So pretty much a fighter could be potentially paying for a belt, right? Based off their purse. It's 3% off what they're making. A fighter could potentially be paying more for a belt than the sanctioned body actually paid to produce it. That's like easy work. The sanctioning body probably spent a little bit of nothing to produce that belt. It don't matter how decorative, it don't matter the decor of that belt. The fighter's purses is never a fixed rate across the board. You only getting paid this amount. No, it's 3%. What does percent say? They're getting 3% of what you got. That's a lot of money. So that means the fighter who's 3% coming off their purse, they're paying for that belt, they're paying for some other belts and some other belts and some other belts. Oh man. I mean, what a freaking scheme, huh? What What a monetary scheme for benefit. Unbelievable.
Make it fair. I like it. Give this man a round of applause, man. Family.
Thank you.
Anything coming up? I know you're gonna be. I know you're gonna be fishing.
Definitely.
I'm gonna hit you up.
Man, you be faking.
I don't be faking. Let me tell you, man.
No me shit
this time. I say it every time. Go ahead. You can talk bad about me, but I'm coming through. I don't care. I'm coming to the house. I work every day, T.
All right then. So don't be saying you about to come fishing. Just say I'm gonna see you when you out there.
I'm gonna see you when you fishing. No, I'm gonna roll up. We'll see. We'll see. I love I'm like you. I like to prove the world wrong too. Okay.
You gonna pull up?
I'm gonna pull up on him. You know, because I'm saying it's gonna happen. All he got to do is send me the location.
Was saying that you were saying it before.
I've said it for years,
Okay.
Heaven, but you know.
Just asking.
Yeah. And I have been fishing too since I saw you last. We're gonna end this conversation. Give Terence Crawford a big round of applause real quick.
Terence, is that the first thing you ate after all of that like heavy and you was back to just doing
slice of old pizza
diet?
Yeah, I still ain't ate nothing really crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know what else, too, Terrence? I want to ask, in the fight, when did you start feeling sorry for the dude, man?
Around probably like the 6th round.
So the 6th round, Terence Crawford admits to feeling sorry for Errol Spence Jr. Just take that moment. Hold on for a second, y'all. Take that moment to let that sit with you. Terence has a heart. The man asked, when did you start to feel sorry? So as you know this, right, Terence felt sorry for Errol Spence a round before he destroyed him in round 7. That's a savage, ain't it? Just let that sit for a split second. All right. So here's the moment that spurred my black Drago. Okay. This is the moment that will go down in history. This man said he felt sorry in the 6th round. That's after the 2nd round stoppage. And that's prior to the infamous 7th round. Brutality.
6th round, you started feeling sorry, like, yo.
I wouldn't say feeling sorry because
that was a fight. I was feeling. Listen, I love boxing. I ain't never say, yo, stop the fight. I'll be like, get his ass kicked. But I mean, come on now.
Listen, man, we ain't you in there. I'm like Drago. He dies. Yo.
O.M. Crawford. You know what I'm saying? He said when he's in there, he's like Drago. He dies. That's a savage. Because he said he felt sorry for the man in the 6th. So y'all aerosexuals, make sure you put this together. And I'm gonna stay on here for the Canelo and Jamel Charlo presser, because I want to see Canelo. I want to see Jamel Charlo kiss Canelo's ass and you know become one of the biggest undisputed ass kissers, you know what I'm saying, in this first press conference. But Terence Crawford said he's like Drago. You got to call him the Black Drago. You know what I'm saying? If he dies, he dies. Now you have another you know, fold page to fold back as a bookmark that you can see this man moving up to 47 and had all stoppages. We can only imagine what he's going to do at 54. He doesn't have to cut down to 47. So you can only imagine him moving up to 54. He said when he moves up, he's not moving down, back down. So imagine how strong he's going to be at 54. Because he said he struggled to make this 147-pound limit.
Listen, man, you in there? I'm like Drago. You dies.
Yo.
No, man, when you fighting, you gotta have that killer mentality. You gotta have that in you. You know what I mean? I never want to, you know what I mean, hurt somebody where they can't go back to their family. But at the same time, you gotta have that mental. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna let up because anything can happen. It only take one shot.
Yeah,
one shot, and either you knocked out, or you can brain damage, or blood on their head, or you can die.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So you gotta always be focused. You gotta always, you know, stay on your P's and Q's, because not only is this man swinging and fighting back hard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Did he hit hard? No,
his
punch wasn't hard?
Not at all.
Wow.
No, really. I said it like I said it. You know what I mean? In the interview, like, I was expecting more. I already knew I was strong.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Physically strong. You know, I've been physically strong my whole life, even though I was skinny. But you know what I mean? When he hit me with a left, boom, it was like bam. I was like, that's it? I'm like, oh, all right. You know?
Like, that's it?
Wow.
Damn.
And I always said since my HBO days, you know, I always said, if a fighter can't hurt me to where I'm respecting him, then it's gonna be a long night. It's gonna be a long night, because when in doubt, it's gonna be a dog fight. When we about to just fight it out, tooth and nails.
Yeah.
I'm not just about to let you do what you want to do with me.
I love it. Terence Crawford.
People, it doesn't get any more clearer than that. He said when it comes down to it, it's going to be a dog fight. So we're looking for that individual. I don't think he can find that individual. I think his ring IQ is too much for Ennis. It's going to take more than athleticism, because Crawford has athleticism. Seriously. And he's fought bigger guys in his career. Errol Spencer's a bigger guy. He say his natural weight is 165, 168. Well, all of a sudden they want to use that as a starting point to make excuses all the time. You know what I'm saying? So he's been fighting bigger guys. Heading into this fight, they would say, oh man, Errol's big. I seen it for myself. You know, when I was at the Beverly Hills press conference, you know what I'm saying? Errol Spence was way bigger than Bud, but Bud was, you know, doing pre-camps and shit. So the size didn't mean anything when you got to shed those pounds off anyway. So yeah, he was walking around looking all big and everything. So Crawford has fought bigger guys. You know what I'm saying? He's fought bigger guys before. He fought Jeff Horn just to say, you know, that big ass Ozzy was in there, and they was complaining about how Jeff Horn roughed up Manny Pacquiao and how fucked up it was. He was fighting dirty, but yet he couldn't rough up Terence Crawford, who came up from a lower division, and that was his first fight at welterweight, yo. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't make this stuff up. The pieces are out there for you. The pieces is out there. But shout out to Sway in the morning. Great interview. Great interview, Terence Crawford. You know what I'm saying? 2-time undisputed world champion, 3 weight divisions, future Hall of Famer. You know what I'm saying? A legend of the sport. And we will see who he fight next. I'm not deterring Spence from taking the rematch. You know what I'm saying? But also, what's not deterring me either is the excuses that the aerosexuals are using. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? It really don't make a difference to me, because we've won already. We won the belts. You know what I'm saying? And I don't see him getting any better if he stays with Diddy James heading to the rematch. I don't see any comfort in that. I'm not going to sit up here and lay silk sheets over a bed with goddamn rocks, you know what I'm saying, and shit in it. You know what I'm saying? Old wood chips. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to try to lay silk sheets over an uncomfortable situation, brother. You know what I'm saying? That fight is going to be rough. You feel me? Spencer's going to have a rough time if he stay with Derrick James going in there for a rematch, period. So if it was me, I would definitely like to see him either move up to 54 and vacate the belts so the other young lions like Boots can attempt to take over and potentially come undisputed at 147. If he can make weight and stay down there that long, you know, because right now when it comes to the belts being vacated 47, it's a lot of people that's there at 47 that Boots can build a rivalry up with. He's not going to be able to build a rivalry up with Terence Crawford because he's not going to stay there to make that 47-pound limit. You know, Terence has already had his rivalry. That rivalry didn't last long. We don't know what the rematch is going to be like, but I don't see his ring IQ being on the level of Bud Crawford. Now, of course, people are going to say that Boots is just too much. And I'm like, okay, stop the presses. Hold up for a second. So it's okay for Bud to be athletic and they sit up here and compliment Boots for being similar to Bud. But yet Bud don't get the amount of credit that Boots is getting. You want to automatically give Boots the green light to go to the top based off his athleticism and what he's able to do in the ring. But Crawford got very minimal credit for being a switch hitter. But all of a sudden, a fighter that they have basically said, oh man, he has similarities and rhythm like Terence Bud Crawford. You know what I'm saying? The ring IQ is different. The ring IQ is what's going to separate these two guys. You know what I'm saying? And y'all be honest with yourselves. Boots Ennis does not have the star power, nor does he has the appraisal for Bud Crawford to fight this man at all. Real talk. It's no different than him fighting David Avanesian. David Avanesian was ranked in the top 10. It's no sense in him doing it because they're gonna say he was too green with 31 victories, y'all. He hasn't fought anybody. Isn't that the same thing? You know, and look, WCS a break down another piece of it. I'll remove another block and put it on top, right? You know, when it comes to Crawford not fighting anybody, did they ever say that Errol Spence, why you want to fight somebody like Crawford that really haven't fought nobody? No one never posed that question to her. All they was talking about him coming to get the belt. You know what I'm saying? So when it came to them making an argument for Spence, they would say, oh, well, he's the best. He's better than Crawford. He has better people on his resume. But they wouldn't ask Spence like, hey, do you think this is going to be one of your easier fights because Crawford haven't fought nobody and he hasn't had the level opposition that you had at welterweight? Do you believe that that's going to be like easy for you because he just haven't fought nobody of your caliber? You know what I'm saying? But when it comes to Ennis, they overlook all that and they just say, yeah, he got 31 victories. He deserve. How you deserve, and you really haven't went through you haven't checked the boxes like Crawford had to check at the welterweight division. You know what I'm saying? These guys are both black fighters matched up with another black fighter. But yet, just because once again we have one that's more popular, so to speak, and I think that's even out the question. I think Terence has built up his popularity. His IG followers have increased, and him talking to the media now, you know, because when he initially started to talk, people talking about he was reading off flashcards, trying to act like the man was illiterate, but he was very educated with those hands, huh? Yeah, he was educated with those hands, huh? I guess that linguistics, you know what I'm saying, that Paul linguistics was what was being spoken in that ring. Those Paul linguistics, real talk. I bet we know that language. Seriously, let me check over here and see if they started this press conference yet, y'all. And big shout out to the hottest chat in the game, A-Side Official on deck. They just up here talking right now, but I am going to tune in to this and give my play-by-play. Like I said, Charlo, I hope you don't go up here and be kissing Canelo's ass and drooling all over the place. No, we don't want that now. We don't want that. Don't get up here and be kissing Canelo's ass. Keep the same energy you do with every other fighter. The same energy you was keeping with Tim Tszyu. The same energy with Tony Harrison, Jarrett Hurd. You know what I'm saying? Keep the same energy, bro. Keep the same freaking energy with Terence Crawford. All that shit. Keep the same energy because Canelo went for Terence Crawford to beat your boy Spence. Canelo Alvarez went for Terence Crawford for the win. So why don't you G-check? Why don't you attempt to G-check Saul Canelo Alvarez? That's what I want. Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. Shout out to Shaw News and Sauce Experience, a.k.a. Showtime Shaw on deck, man. What it do? Stickum Boys, PM, Jamal Neezy, Carlos, UGC Flame, salute. AU on deck. WJ Luckett, yes, sir. Tyrese. Let me get to some of these comments, man. PM say W says you never call out the LDBC for pushing the narrative and hating on Bud. Well, okay. You must not follow my channel enough. Okay. I'll just let you sit on that. Because I'm not here to, if you haven't followed me that long, start to follow me, sub to the channel, because that's incorrect. You know what I'm saying? That's incorrect. Black Drago, but only way Errol had a slight chance was if he ran up a mountain and screamed Terrence. Per the clip, it might have did some justice, per the clip. I want to hear what they have to say over here. They talking about Jamel Charlo coming off a 15 months layoff. No, nobody want to hear that, bro. That's like the normality in boxing right now. Don't nobody want to hear that shit. Don't nobody want to hear about a 15-month layoff and all that. Either you want the fight or you don't, bro. Bud Crawford fights and beats all nobodies. EJ was the last nobody on that list who happened to be a 3-belt holder who he beat the easiest, got him game over they mad. And you're right about that, Showtime. He was the last nobody. EJ was the last nobody that Crawford beat. You're absolutely right. He made that fight look easier than the other 7 opponents. You know what I'm saying? Jesus Christ, man. Come on, man. That's wild. He made EJ look like he was a nobody in one of the easiest oppositions that he's faced as a welterweight fighter, man, because his first fight up there, he beat Jeff Horn, who was a champion. What excuse is going to be used? How are you going to parlay another scheme, another Ponzi scheme, of narrative pushing to get people to buy into that shit? How are you going to do it? What's the next Ponzi scheme to get people to buy into your biased narratives on here? You think you're going to be able to run Boots, through that same gauntlet? Boots is not going to have a rivalry with Bud Crawford at 47. It's not going to happen, people. This shit's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Real talk. I mean, you're talking about a guy who's going to be 36 this year. Bud basically said Errol does nothing in a nice way. Yeah, he pretty much, basically decommissioned. You know what I'm saying? I'm going back to my military days. He pretty much decommissioned Errol Spence's power. Real talk. Everybody had that shit out here like it was some torpedo or something, some big ship, some battleship. You know what I'm saying? And he decommissioned it easily. And then he said when he was hit flush with a shot, he was like, "Oh, that's it." So it was all bad. And then not to make and not to keep on reiterating this, but he said pretty much, you need to do something for me to respect you. And then if you are successful with that, and it forces me to throw away or abandon what I initially came through the ropes to do, and that was the plan that me and my team worked on and trained on all those weeks in fight camp, then it's an all-out dog fight. Let's see how much dog you got. Let's throw everything out the window and see who can break who. And one thing I would say about Spence showed toughness, and he refused to be broken. You know what I'm saying? He refused to be broken. He would have got broken though. If that shit would have went 12 rounds, he would have got broken now. The fight was stopped in the 9th round, and Crawford was turning it on. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, come on, bro. Crawford was turning that shit on like the shower. You know, Spence was wet all over the place, leaking everywhere, blood everywhere. And why blood coming out the shower head like that? Because you're getting your ass beaten. Can you just give me a towel or something? Harvey Doc comes in. No, you can't do that in the fight. Continue to fight, else I'm gonna stop the fight. Continue to fight. You know what I'm saying? We're not giving you towels to wipe away the blood. Continue to fight. I mean, Bud was putting it on him, bro. You know what I'm saying? He decommissioned everything that was considered a strength with Errol Spence. He decommissioned it. Shun News say these damn content creators that talk boxing every day are super groupie fans of particular fighters and networks. They just talk boxing on YouTube. They do nothing in boxing besides gossip on YouTube. I can say I have to agree with you on there are a lot of individuals that will hear you speak about that, but they don't understand why you're speaking on it. Like they understand when frontliners talk to one another. You know, it's a lot of, check this out. When I mentioned that, you know, that Showtime, you know, was the UGK of media, underground king, right? Based off what he did behind the scenes prior to starting the champion. I remember when all this shit happened. You know what I'm saying? When he was getting his camera ready and all that. But he was on the front lines, right? Do you know when we are out here being braggadocious about doing stuff on the front lines, it's not easy to go out here and cover a fight by yourself and know how to cover a fight. It's not easy. A lot of these dudes have found out it's not easy, but they're unwilling to give recognition to somebody like Shot News or myself that's out on the front line. Now, people have gave me my props, and people gave him his props. You know what I'm saying? They done seen us at the same fights. Real talk. You know what I'm saying? They've seen us. But check this out. They find out that it's extremely difficult. It takes more than just setting up a microphone and going live and doing a thumbnail and going live. It takes a lot of movement. You know what I'm saying? You definitely got to know how to move. You know what I'm saying? No one's going to sit up here and hold your hand and tell you what to do. But you find a lot of these guys that cover these fights, they're part of teams. They're not doing it solo dolo. They're part of teams. They're out here putting in all this work. They're not even taking pictures. They're not even editing their own videos. They're basically just the work mules. They're the work mules to go out here and get the coverage and then hand it off for a paycheck. And somebody might say, oh, that's the way. No, we're talking about content creators. People who go out here and know how to handle the entire trifecta. You know, get your travel and arrangements done. However you got to do it. Know how to meet the timeline of the fight week. And then gather the footage. Everything else that you do as an independent content creator goes into you doing the editing for the audio and the videography and the visual, the photography. That's if you're multifaceted. It's not as easy as you think. People look at, oh man, yeah, I done seen, WCS pictures and everything. It ain't that hard. Yes, it is. You got to get the pictures. In one fight, let's just say it's an 8-round fight. You can walk up out of there with 8,000 frames easy, especially if they throwing down. Now, if they ain't doing shit, it will be much more less. I'm just giving you a little bit of gems. You know what I'm saying? I'm just giving you a little bit of gems. You got to get in the rhythm on trying to guess when a fighter is going to fight by looking at their shoulders and looking in between the fighters, because the lens is going to do its work. Okay. I'm just putting that out there. But, when it comes down to a lot of you guys, you would try to gauge a status quo of a content creator based off the amount of views that they have on here. That's all well and done. But it's shit that you learn by being on site at the fight, not in the stands. I'm talking about covering fights, not just with Top Rank and PBC. I'm talking about in your city. I'm talking about people, fighters that a lot of cats on here don't know. I did that plenty of times. I did that when nobody was looking. So when I hear cats always talking about numbers, even when I had like 5 or 10 people in, it never stopped the flow, because first of all, what I'm saying, my pension comes from the time I served in the military, not a YouTube, because YouTube don't have a pension, a retirement pension. So right there's confusion. There's confusion when it comes to this. People try to grade you off and say, oh man, look at your numbers. And I'm saying to myself, that don't do anything for my catalog though. My catalog is still, I have things in catalog that haven't even really been put up there. It's always going to be my content. Like if I wanted to boost up more and more subscribers, only thing I have to do is go on my hard drive. I have several hard drives with boxing content that I haven't even posted yet. Because sometimes, you don't want to flood it out. You want to save some. You know what I'm saying? You put up enough of the content of the fight week, and then you want to savor some and bring it out later. And then it's content out there, especially according to if the fight's a championship fight. How many championship fights have you done? How many champions have you covered before they was champions, while they was champions? That's a big deal. You know what I'm saying? Like I always say, man, I don't know. I don't care how the LDBC feel. I don't care how Deontay Wilder feels about how I feels about the LDBC. I give him credit for what he was able to do, bro. You know what I'm saying? When I was there, I got to give that brother respect for not being an asshole not one time, brother. I don't care if his main source and who fuck with him back then is LDBC. I don't care about that. I have my issues with certain members of the LDBC, right? But Deontay Wilder as a man, as a fighter, good person. I've seen it. So I don't care. I'm mature. I can separate the two. I'm not gonna dislike Deontay because he deal with them. That's who he know before me. But I can tell you this: when I was up there covering him in fight camp, I didn't see none of them LDBC members up there on the grind, shutterbugging. I didn't see them shutterbugging. I didn't see them up there, when the champ was in camp. You feel me? I didn't see you around when the champ was in camp. And when he had them sparring sessions and stuff, I didn't see you when the champ was in camp. It's been a lot of fighters, man. I seen way back in the day at different freaking organizations. And yeah, my numbers are growing. I appreciate the hottest chat in the game. Those of you that decided to sub. But be clear now. I'm not a novice at this. I'm not a novice at this. Quality over quantity. I fucks with the ones who I know that's a consistent name and faces in my chat all day, every day. I'll take the ones who's in my chat interacting with the topic of discussion all day over quantity of people that just, okay, I got 300, 400 in the chat, 500 in the chat, but only 25 people 20 people are commenting. Come on, bro. Quality over quantity any day of the week. Hey, I'm still waiting for the press conference to start. I'm just talking to you all. You know what I'm saying? So I just had to put that out there. Real talk. Flex Lewis, what's good? Tough Glove Boxing say salute WCS and the rest of the family. I'm late to good cooking. Yeah, man, as long as you get some of it, though. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Samad. As long as you get some of it, it's all good, brother. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, get the likes up for me. You know what I'm saying? Get the likes up, man. Let's get 100 likes in the building. Those of you that came in and left the building, you know? Get the likes up for me. Samar said, peace and blessings, beloved. Salute WCS certified stamp. The like button and support the grind. One love to you, brother. Thanks for pulling up. You know what I'm saying? Quality over quantity. That's me, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, the people that I know show up all the time. They're the ones who fuck with me. Real talk. Say Floyd beat 22 world and former world champions. Bud beat 9 world and former world champions. Yes, this now includes Spence in the 9, so the arrow section can keep up the with the count. The real boogeyman. Hey, man. You know, regardless of what they say, it's pitiful in a lot of ways, because you're thinking about people that are living a life where they are stressing themselves up to come up here and talk about a situation they can't change. I think ultimately when you say CHANGE, it's nothing that would be effective enough to allow change to happen. You know what I'm saying? Effective change is nothing you can say outside of what you witness. You know what I'm saying? The lies and everything that was out there, just the absolute complete lies, bro. You know what I'm saying? It did nothing to change the outcome of the fight. And you know, the wild part about what the Sexuals will sit up here and try to do is, okay, I guess they're about to come up here. Let me see if they're about to come up here. Let me see if they're about to come up. Hold up. They're doing a face off right now. Mayor Charlo got his head cocked to the left as always. Right. Canelo's dressed in the finest silk shirt. You know what I'm saying? Canelo, hey, look, he probably think he lounging in the bed and shit. Canelo got a silk shirt on, and no telling what the slacks made out of. Canelo say, I ain't coming in no suit. I'm coming with loose sleeves in case it really get busy. You know what I'm saying? Let's see if Jermell Charlo is ready to get busy. You know what I'm saying? Because he was busy. There go that guy. Oh man, Diddy James is like giving Canelo, you know, the hugs and everything, and being all lovey-dovey, affectionate. Juan Guzman came in there and sat down, y'all. He say, man, I ain't going over there, nothing. So y'all should pay attention to Guzman on the end, man. He's an intricate role player. Don't say I ain't tell you. So, you know, really, I just want, you know, in the first press conference with Errol Spence and Terence Crawford, it did get testy. I just want Jermell Charlo to keep the same energy, bro. We don't want to see no ass kissing shit. No, keep the same energy, bro. Yeah, man. Don't come up here being all nice. Let Derrick James keep the same, and he up there hugging Canelo, you know, coach and all that. No, keep the same energy with Eddie. That ain't happening. He ain't doing it, bro. You ain't doing it, bro. Your mentality isn't like Crawford. Your mentality isn't there. Crawford's mentality was there. Say, I gotta train like this. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't going up there talking about, well, I'm going for a glorified fight of my career. I gotta act like I gotta be the actor in the moment. No, he wasn't trying to act. He was the producer. He was writing the outcome of the script. He was writing it and he was gonna be in it. He was a producer. Let's start with these questions, big dog. Come on, Brian. Let's get with these questions. You better not be an ass kisser, bro. You better not be an ass kisser. You better keep the same energy. You better keep the same energy, bro. People gonna say you going up here looking the part, but you ain't acting the part. Cause you sitting up there looking like Canelo, like he's a god. You can't go in there acting like, oh man, I'm starstruck. It's Canelo. I never thought I'd have this moment. Wow. Keep the same energy, Jamel. Don't come up here with that soft shit. They talking about undisputed versus undisputed. Really, because he's gonna lose the belt when he steps in the ring. He'll belt, so it's not undisputed versus undisputed. Truth be told, the only time it's gonna be undisputed is that they both hold the titles once the referee give instructions. You know what I'm saying? Come on, bro. Shit sound good. Let me see if Derrick James is going to get active with talking shit to Canelo. What they going to tell Canelo? You flat-footed, you slow, you're old? What are you going to tell Eddie? You know what I'm saying? What is Jamel gonna tell Canelo? Oh, I'm not John Ryder. And Canelo gonna say, oh, I know you're not. Because I think John Ryder is a better fighter than you, my friend. You know, amigo. I think John Ryder is a better fighter than you, to be honest. This is not a super fight. This is not a super fight. Stop the cap. This is not a super fight. This is not a super fight. Hey, can y'all get the likes up? I appreciate it. Better get ready, Charlo. Don't come up here with no soft shit. I'm still here. I'm just waiting, to hear from the fighters. Derek, keep the same energy. Tell Canelo he ain't fought nobody. Don't be up here kissing the ass.
So for us, let's look for a great.
Thank you, Derek. Coming to the podium now, head trainer, also manager of Canelo Alvarez. He's a two-time trainer of the year, the latest in 2021, Mr. Eddie Reynoso. By the way, Felix de Jesus will do the translation.
Buenas tardes. Pues aquí estamos otra vez aquí en Nueva York. Creo que anunciando una de las mejores peleas que va a haber en los últimos tiempos. Los estilos hacen peleas y creo que esta pelea, tanto Charlo como con Canelo, tienen el estilo para hacer una gran pelea.
Good afternoon. It's a pleasure to be back in New York City. And again, the great fights that we always have. And this is going to be styles that are going to be in the ring. And we're going to see the best fights like we always do.
Respetamos mucho el equipo de Charlo. La verdad, un gran entrenador, Derry. Charlo, un gran campeón. Un peleador con mucho corazón que se ha levantado de derrotas para seguir adelante en su carrera y todo eso lo hace más peligroso aún.
We respect the Charlo camp, his trainer, Derek James, of course, Jermel Charlo, and what they've done, he's recuperated from a loss that he had to come back and be in the big fights.
Nosotros de nuestra parte, como siempre, prepararnos bien. Sabemos que es una pelea muy, muy difícil, muy peligrosa y pues estamos haciendo las cosas lo mejor que se puede y pues nos vemos el 30 de septiembre porque van a ver una gran pelea y van a ver a un Canelo muy diferente a las últimas peleas.
Again, we know it's going to be a difficult fight. We respect Charlo as a fighter, but from our end, we're going to get well prepared like we always do. And September 30th, you're going to see an all-out war.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Let's hear from fighters. Coming to the podium now. Man's got a record of 35-1-1. 19 of those victories have come by knockout. He's beaten everybody that he has faced. He's one of boxing's pound-for-pound best. Unique skill, combination, knockout power, sublime boxing skills. He is the undisputed junior middleweight champion of the world. He's known as the Iron Man, Charlo.
Long time coming, baby. I want to say thank you to Team Canelo, Eddie, Saul himself. They're legends in the game of boxing. They did it. They made it. They able to put on great. They able to put on great shows and great fights, and just want to be the one that get in there and take away from all of that, though. You know, it's been years. Me and my brother been putting on for boxing, and the Charlo twins, and just it's time now. You know what I mean? A lot of guys worried about the wrong things of moving up in weight and doing this and doing that. When you wanna win something this big, you gotta risk it all. And this is a part of that moment. You know, I appreciate everybody that supported me, the whole Texas gang, everybody behind me, Derek James, Juan Guzman, they've been rocking with me. Showtime been putting on a hell of a deal this year, and I'm so proud to be one of the ones that able to get in there and step up and fight. So as we move around, we do these tours and have fun. I'm gonna be training my ass off. I'm going crazy with it and gonna play it smart. So y'all tune in, lock in, pay-per-view September 30th. Be there, be square. It's finna turn up. We finna turn this shit into a whole nother ball field, and I'm excited for it. Like I gotta feed the family. We finna do it in a whole fucking different fashion. You know what I'm saying? Lions only. Love y'all, and let's go.
Coming to the podium. This man's got a record of 59-2-2. 39 of his victories have come by knockout. Boxing's biggest superstar. One of the pound-for-pound greats. Surefire, first ballot Hall of Famer. You heard Stephen Espinoza say he's beaten 18 world champions. He is the undisputed super middleweight champion of the world, Saul Canelo Alvarez.
Muchas gracias. Gracias a todos por estar aquí. I don't know if I let him translate or speak English, but I just wanna say this in Spanish because you know my people from Mexico want to know everything I wanna say. I just wanna say in English this: thank you for taking this fight. You're one of the fighters I ever see because you was a great fighter, defense fighter. You fighting with Chatito Jauregui from Mexico. We are in the same gym, so I appreciate being in this position right now. And thank you to everybody support me, Al Hyman, everybody involved in this fight. I'm very happy to be in this position right now and involved in this kind of fights, big fights. You know, Charlo is a great fighter and disputed in his weight class. He take challenge like me. I always take risk, and we love being involved in these kind of fights. Al Hyman, thank you for these two Showtime, everybody involved. I think right now the best promoters are Canelo Promotion and PBC. So I'm
It's pretty much they being friendly. Shout out to Canelo. You know what I'm saying? The man has earned his spot. You know what I'm saying? Really, nothing is going on that's hyping it up a little bit. It takes me back to Canelo and Gennady Golovkin, the second fight. There's really nothing going on with this press conference. They're going to have to do something. But look, this is a perfect example of Jermell Charlo talking about he's willing to risk it all and do something great. But yet, you weren't giving Crawford the same credit when he was calling you out, trying to, risk it all to go up there and challenge you. Now you get the damn default call up, 2 weight divisions, and then you gotta get your mindset that you didn't have before into a moment that you wasn't even thinking about. You was never thinking about moving up to 68. Period.
Correctly, Canelo's gonna give him a left hook to the liver.
That's why I can. I don't want to.
Go ahead.
I don't want that part. So
All right, let's talk about the fight, guys. And we'll start with the trainers. Derek James, you've been here before. You've been here obviously with Mel for Undisputed. Been here with Errol to become Undisputed. Talk to us about what is it going to take for Jermell Charlo to win this challenge against arguably boxing's best fighter.
So yeah, what it's going to take is just Jermell be the best version of himself. Go out and be focused in training camp, focus in the fight. I believe that he'll be able to get what he needs to get because of the focus that he has and him being himself.
Eddie?
Is that not the same shit he was talking about?
If you could.
Crawford and Spence, focus.
How is this challenge against Charlo different from any other that Canelo has faced?
Pues es un reto más. Charlo es un tremendo peleador, un boxeador que puede acabar una pelea de un solo golpe, que él tiene mucho corazón y creo que lo hace diferente a los demás.
No, it's definitely a challenge. He has a lot of heart, Charlo, and he could end the fight in any moment. So we got to be prepared for him.
Derek, any concern of Mel moving up 2 weight classes to challenge Canelo?
I think that there's always a concern with any fight, regardless of the weight division that he's in. But him moving up, I think he should be comfortable the night of the fight. And I think that, Canelo's very powerful. So, I think that you have to be conscious of that. And he's very skillful and knowledgeable about boxing. But I think that you move up, you take a challenge because you dare to be great. I think that Jermell is daring to be great. He wants to make history to be able to do it in 2 divisions and to be undisputed in 2 divisions at the same time. And the only thing you do is you step up and you take the challenges.
Canelo, you fought on a number of platforms.
He's reading off freaking the same
got this new deal with PBC.
Nigga
Tell
sound
us
like a robot.
Why PBC and why Jermell Charlo as the first fight?
I think it's the correct moment to come here and fight with PBC. I'm glad to be here. I'm very happy. And why Jermell Charlo? I think he's a great fighter. He's one of the great fighters out there, and I think this fight for a long time is there, right? And I think he's a correct.
He getting his brother mixed up with Jermell. No, you mean Jamal.
To be involved in this kind of fight, like I said, and he's a great fighter.
Mel, can you let the boxing public know what exactly is Jermell Charlo out to prove?
Come on, Brian Custer, ask the hard questions now, just like you did with goddamn Terence.
Well, I just really want to, quiet my haters, quiet my doubters, and turn non-believers into believers. I watched about a bunch of different examples of great people in the sport of boxing, and I think this is the best time and the best moment for me. I've accomplished everything, and Canelo has as well. So by putting 2 great fighters in there, you get nothing but fireworks. And a lot of fighters talk about that, but you get true fireworks from 2 great fighters. And when a moment presents itself under this banner of PBC, it was a no questioner. It was a no brainer to make that happen.
It was no questioner. If you want to look that up on Google, questioner, ER.
Big as this, that you could show the world of boxing and give the world of boxing such a performance. So I'm gonna get in there and I'm gonna train my ass off. I'm gonna fight my ass off and I'm gonna be intelligent. I know I'm moving up 2-weight divisions. Who cares? Who give a damn? But that don't stop what I'm finna get in there and how I do it and the way I do it. So I'm excited for this moment.
Canelo.
Is it just me? Or should I hit the replay? Did he say he's gonna beat Canelo yet? Did Charlo say anything to the sort? To Sublime? Did he throw the Sublime out there? Did he say he was gonna beat Canelo come September 30th? Have we heard that? He's talking about how he's gonna train, right? Charlo, you being real nice. You want to worry about your haters. No, that's the problem. You always want to worry about stuff that's not motivating you for this fight. You need to stick to what's motivating you, like your coach. You want to stay focused. Yeah, we heard that 20,000 times with Spence, and you see how he turned out, right? Come on, bro. You say you're gonna beat Canelo. Come on, Brian. Ask him the question. Do you think you can beat Canelo? Period.
Every fight are different, and this is different fight, and I'm focused on.
Charlo up there talking about two great fighters. I've accomplished everything. What?
Boxing News wrote this, quote, "This should be an easy victory for Canelo, who will have the power advantage as well as being vastly more experienced," end quote. Your reaction to that?
And fuck them. They don't like me. They ain't never liked me anyways. Them motherfuckers don't like me. They write all that crazy shit. They talk crazy about me. They talk crazy about him. They like, be proud of what's going on. Be happy for the fight, but I don't care about them.
When you step in the ring, it will be 16 months since you last fought.
Right.
I know you've been rehabbing and all that. Will that be an issue? You always hear fighters say no, and then after the fight say, "What?"
Be careful about your answer, Charlo. Be careful.
Will that be an issue?
I don't get no excuses. I don't got excuses. Whatever happens, happens. I'm not coming in there to lay down. I'm coming to win. I come to win this fight. I don't care about all that other stuff. You know what I'm saying? Forget what they say. I care about none of that.
Canelo?
He refused to say he's gonna win, though. He's talking about he don't care about none of it, but he's talking all that same shit about Crawford, man. You sitting up here being a good little kid today, bro. For real. You know what I'm saying? You're not keeping the same energy, you or your coach. Y'all playing nice. Y'all just happy to be in the same room, breathing the air, sharing the air with them. You know what I'm saying? When the question gonna be asked, when you gonna say you're gonna beat him? Period.
Send in this fight, and then we'll see. And I know everybody wants drama and everything. They want.
Yes, we do want drama.
To fight each other right here and talking shit. But when two fighters are 100% focused like we are right now, I think it's gonna be a great fight. No joke.
Is Canelo Alvarez, in your opinion, still, because obviously people have seen Naoya Inoue, they've just seen Terence Crawford, and everyone has so all of a sudden elevated them. Is Canelo Alvarez still pound for pound the best fighter in boxing?
Look, I think they all deserve being in the top. They all deserve being in the top. Me too, right? It's disrespect say I'm the number one, or he's the number one, or the other is the number one. I think we all deserve being in the top.
Okay, I respect that from Canelo. We all deserve to be at the top. I respect that.
And tell me why Jermell Charlo is going to win this fight September 30th.
My heart, my desire, my determination, and my guts, my will to win, speed, my power, my lateral movement, my ability, my training finesse.
Say you're going to beat him.
Canelo, same question.
Say you're going to beat him. Say you're going to beat him, man. What's all this soft shit, man? What's all this?
I've been in this position a lot of times, so and that's why we are here, right? To find out. We'll see September 30th.
We'll wrap it up with this, guys. Last question for both of you.
Wrap it up.
Watching this, people who are going to go on AXS.com and buy tickets, come out to Las Vegas.
Jesus
All those people are going to buy Showtime pay-per-view. Jermell Charlo, what can you guarantee that they're going to get September 30th when you face Canelo Alvarez?
Yeah, it is the one last chance.
I know, guarantee we're gonna get. It's just gonna be awesome. It's gonna be fireworks. It's gonna be some lions rolling. That's it.
Rolling. It's gonna be
Canelo,
some
same
lions
question.
rolling.
What can you guarantee
That
the
was
fans
weak.
that
It's gonna
they're
be
going to
some
get
lions rolling
on September 30th when you face Jermell
Man,
Charlo?
you didn't say, man. You don't
I'm
want
gonna
to
put
go in
my
there and
everything
win,
there.
dog.
My experience, my power, my skills.
And Crawford probably looking at you
everything
laughing right
to
now
win this fight. And,
because he
I
took
think
your
it's
heart
gonna-
when you
it's
was
gonna be a
sitting
great fight
ringside,
for,
man.
for the fans.
It will be an unprecedented night. For the first time in the four-belt era, you got
Soft, one of the
undisputed
softest press conferences
against
I've seen in a
undisputed
while, man.
fighter from the different weight division moving up to challenge and
wasn't talking that
challenge
shit when Crawford was
themselves to
talking about
be
you a
great.
bitch ass nigga when
It
you was
will
sitting
be
ringside.
one heck of a night on
Now all of a
Showtime
sudden-
pay-per-view, September 30th, T-Mobile Arena,
Oh,
Las
my
Vegas.
God.
You can purchase your tickets, AXS.com, AXS.com. Gentlemen, let's have one last face-off.
Oh, let's do this. Bring a bouquet of flowers too. Bring a bouquet of flowers. You know what I'm saying? Bring a Hallmark card. You know what I'm saying? Somebody sprinkle some petals, the rose petals down there. You know, the man got on black boots, looking like he about to build an igloo for the freaking tribesmen. You know what I'm saying?
Undisputed versus undisputed. The Iron Man, Jermell Charlo, taking on Canelo Alvarez. Showtime pay-per-view, September 30th.
He's wearing a fully long sleeve knitted shirt, y'all. Like I was a kid with corduroy pants on. Like Charlo can literally run outside and slide on the pavement and not get one scab, one abrasion. For real. He can go up there and swipe at a hornet's nest and not get not one sting from his shoulders and low, because he got a motherfucking goddamn Tarzan, a modern day Tarzan suit on, because Tarzan wanted to leave the woods and go to the local
Campbell,
food
Raul
mart.
Marquez, and Captain Jack himself, Stephen.
Man, that shit right there was one of the weakest pressers I've seen in a while. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. That shit was weak. That shit was weak. Shout out to Tyrese on deck, man, with the $2. Deuce. Super chat on deck. Can Charlo come in light or at weight limit 168? I don't think they would do that to him. He's definitely not. I'm gonna go out and say Tyrese, he ain't coming in no 168. Why? You know, like you have to understand he's been at 154, so he don't want to come in too heavy and have to carry all that muscle. You could tell, you know, how he look right now. So he's definitely gonna be in the 160s. Definitely, we can assume that. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? He's definitely not coming in at 168. Definitely. But my take on this, I usually do a reaction to you know, the live stream, and big shout out to Tyrese, man, for the $2 super chat. My brother, one love to you. Much appreciated. Man, listen, y'all. You know, this is a perfect example of individuals talking all that shit to their own kind, but yet, you know, karma presents itself. Whether it's a sacrificial freaking a sacrificial lambasting or whatever you call it, a barbecue feast, whatever, for Charlo. But you know, when you go in there and you have that much respect for your opponent, especially every other opponent, you want to make it disrespectful. You want to talk shit to him. But you talking about, oh, I'm gonna, you know, go in there. It's gonna be lions roaring. I'm gonna do this. Not one time you want to sit up here. He got other press conferences too, and he's gonna hear the criticism. You know, Derrick James saying almost the same exact shit is that he was saying at the press conference for freaking Errol Spence. You know what I'm saying? He's about to become the first Negro mannequin robot with a freaking neural link in him. Niggas coming on stage sounding like he programmed with producer notes and shit. All you gotta do is play 100% focus and listen to the music. And when I tell him to come up and maybe hit the step correctly, then I'll think about having him on the team. But until then, he need to run down the street and get me my cheesecake. Because there's really only one star in this stable, and that's Diddy, MF, and James. I don't know what Guzman doing over here. Because at the end of the day, people gonna say, Diddy James is the one who really got him ready for the fight. You know what I'm saying? Regardless, nobody's coming to see you, Guzman. You know what I'm saying? But that's who they should be paying attention to. You know what I'm saying? Guzman should get that credit, bro. Seriously, he should get that credit for what he's doing. And also, just Jamel Charlo not keeping the same energy in the fight of this magnitude. Like, this is the same shit you was criticizing Bud for. Bud probably up there shaking his head like that nigga up there kissing Canelo ass. You know what I'm saying? Canelo up there saying, "Oh, we don't have to disrespect. We don't have to disrespect." Crawford and Spence didn't really disrespect each other, but it did get a little bit testy at times. But you just going up there and you don't even want to say I'm going in there and I'm gonna win. You're not even confident enough to say I'm going in there to win. You're starstruck. Yeah, like you going in there just to be a dance partner, man. Look, you got 12 rounds to go in there against a guy like Canelo Alvarez, who's been in with the who's who of boxing, period. You know what I'm saying? He's been able to do what you was afraid to do. You know what I'm saying? You busy up here standing in line like good little boys. You know what I'm saying? Oh, my brother at 160, I can't go up there. Mama said no. I can't go up to 160. I have to stay right here until I get my time. Oh, Al Hammond, I saw you had the green light on. You trying to give me a little bit of freedom? Yeah, it's your time. It's going to be a tough one. But I'm giving you one of the biggest fight of your life. 2 divisions up to face Canelo Alvarez. Oh, did you say Canelo Alvarez, Sir Heyman? Yeah. You're going to go up there and fight Canelo Alvarez. You do know there's 2 divisions up, don't you? Yes, that's exactly why I said you'll be the perfect one. You know what I'm saying? After all that shit you talked about Crawford being a light boy, I said to myself, he seems like he's ready to make that move. It seems like he's ready for the challenge. And I made the call. So you're up next. Get in camp. Call Guzman up and get ready, okay? But Sir Heyman, I'm not so sure. I'd rather just stay down here and fight Crawford, the little guy. Why you want this guy's fought at 175 before, Sir Heyman? He fought at 175. I never fought above 154. Sir Heyman, don't walk away from me, Sir Heyman. You know what I'm saying? Like, goddamn, nigga tripping, bro. Real talk. Dude want to stay in line, stay seated, all nice and left hand, left knee, right knee, back straight, head nod straight to the front, mouth is shut. You know, type of dude. You know what I'm saying? He gets in there and he refused to say anything bad about Canelo, anything. He how dare him cross over that threshold? How dare he? You know what I'm saying? Blunt say Jamel just getting his check to help his brother out. Yeah, real talk, Blunts. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Blunts, man. You know, thanks for dropping that info on the presser, man. You know what I'm saying? Because truth be told, I'll be honest with you. I really wasn't interested in the freaking, because I know how it's going to be. He's not going to keep the same energy, Blunts. That dude's up here faking it, bro. You know what I'm saying? He was just ringside talking about, you can't fuck with me to Crawford, who was up there beating up his stablemate, you know? And then he gets up here. He said, this is what I trained for. You got 2 great fighters. Nah, nigga. What are you talking about? You still got some work to do a little bit, dog. I mean, your undisputed run is not considered great. If you go ahead and beat Canelo, then we can start talking about, okay, wow, he's one of the three. We got Floyd Mayweather, Dimitri Bivol, and Jermell Charlo. Who would have thought? Wow. That's what you need to do. That's what you need to do, big dog. All this soft, goddamn squirmy type, squishy type shit. That shit was baloney. That press conference was baloney right there. Baloney. Randy said Jermell has always looked up to Canelo. He doesn't give off the energy of a man that's gonna knock Canelo off his porch. He doesn't, right? But he'll definitely walk up to that motherfucker and make sure Canelo's feet is massaged and that he goddamn bring him some of the best lunch he can get. You know what I'm saying? And have some girls come up there with palm leaves and keep Canelo cool while he's sitting on his porch. And then go up there and brush off Canelo's horses. And then whatever dust, float over to the porch and get it dirty. They sit up there and get some other people to sweep off the porch and everything. You know what I'm saying? Real talk. And then, they serve Canelo with a 5-course meal on that motherfucker and ask him, is everything okay? Let me get that off your mouse right there, Sir Canelo. You know what I'm saying? Sir Canelo. Anything else? Okay, see you on fight night. I just had to come over here and, show you how much of a good sport I am. I really look up to you, okay? I really do. Not like that Crawford dude. You know what I'm saying? When he said he's a fan of Spence, he didn't mean it. Really, really, Canelo, I'm a fan of yours. Really, buddy, I am. I'm totally a fan. So I'm going to pretty much I'm just going to let you know, wink, 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 okay? Wink, wink. I'm going to do pretty much what Caleb Plant did. All right? I know that you had your problems with it, and unfortunately I had to go through the same thing. My brother just kept on messing with him, and that Caleb Plant, he ended up slapping my brother anyway. Just perturbs me to no end. But let's look at it this way. I'm going to pretty much do the same thing Caleb Plant did in the fight. I'm going to make it interesting the first part, and then I'm not sure what I'm going to say to you in around the 8th round. But I already know the plan. You don't have to say anything. I know that I cannot physically or mentally go in there and earn that victory over you, Lord Canelo. So I'm just going to do pretty much what Caleb did. I'm going to start, talking a little bit, kind of get in the mood, move around, waste some time in the 8th round. And then, I know you're going to commence to whooping my ass just like Crawford just do it, my stablemate, Errol Spence. So I figure he got stopped in the 9th round. I should get stopped in the 9th round too. I mean, I already know what losing is. You know what I'm saying? I already got 1 loss from Tony Harrison, right? What's wrong with 2 losses? But this time it'll be a loss to Lord Canelo Alvarez. Yes, it would. It'll be a loss to Lord Canelo Alvarez. Hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come. September 30th. Canelo's about to drop the drums on Jermell's head and over and over and over and over again. You know what I'm saying? It ain't gonna stop. Boom, 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 boom. The Mexican fan base is gonna be dancing around. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. You better not lay down there, Jermell. You better not quit, goddammit. You better not dare quit. Because goddamn Terence Crawford gonna have you for lunch if you do sign that fight. You better not quit, bro. You know what? I think Canelo might take you to the final round, bro. Just like he did Daniel Jacobs. You feel me? I think he might just take you to the 12th round like he did the trilogy like Gennady Golovkin. I think he might be nice and let you go a full 12 so you can have that fight with Terence Crawford. So nobody won't be up here talking about, hey man, you got knocked out by Canelo Alvarez. You can't be healthy enough to fight Terence Crawford. I'm thinking Canelo nice like that. Canelo would do you one better. And allow and carry you to the 12th round. Unanimous decision win. That's what I'm going off of, y'all. I'm going off this fight ends in unanimous decision win. Seriously, real talk. There's going to be a unanimous decision win for Canelo Alvarez for saving grace of Jamel Charlo. And being that Showtime has abandoned Errol Spence, you know what I'm saying? They're going to find some way to try to make some money off Terence Crawford. Seriously. They're going to find some way, man. I don't think it's going to happen with Terence Crawford, Canelo Alvarez, of course. But Jamel Charlo takes a UD loss. You know, he can still come back in and fight Terence Crawford because he's going to be in his rightful division as the unified champion, missing one belt, the WBO. And I think they'll make that fight happen. Regardless, he just took a loss. They shouldn't make too big of a deal of it because they was busy up here, you know, cheering the shit out of Kell Brook when he came down. So this is no different, right? This is no different, y'all. Probably just he can come in lighter. He doesn't have to be 168. Yeah, man, he don't have to be 168 at all. Jamel has always looked up. He doesn't give off the energy of a man that's going to knock Canelo off the porch. Jamel. But, hey, check this out, people. I'm definitely going to drop back through, of course. Appreciate everyone who pulled up. Just want to come in here and talk that talk once again. You know what I'm saying? To let y'all understand that the Black Drago is now official. You know what I'm saying? The Black Drago is now official. Period. Ain't no changing it. You know what I'm saying? If he dies, he dies. The Black Drago has spoken. Until next time, man, y'all hold it down. Continue to support the channel. Hit the like button, share and sub. I appreciate y'all. The hottest chat in the game. A-Side official. I'm out.
Left jab, uppercut, leave you laid out on the floor. Try to duck and roll, hit and miss, now you counting stars. Should've practiced more, should've hit the mask, get out there more. Claim that you're the best. You gotta show me, son. Actions over words, baby boy. Is you real or what? Talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come.